What if the world we think we know is only the surface of a much deeper, more complex history, one hidden beneath the rubble of time itself? Long before the ancient civilizations we've studied, vast megastructures, larger and more intricate than anything we can explain, towered over the Earth, only to be swallowed by the great floods that shaped our planet's destiny. These are not the remnants of myth or legend, but remnants of a forgotten past, still echoing through the corridors of history. Today, we explore the latest revelations, more than 50 pre-flood megastructures, each more baffling and awe-inspiring than the last, leaving us with one unrelenting question: who built them, and why did they vanish? So sit back, relax, and let's dive deeper into the mystery. Perched on the edge of the Mediterranean, the islands of Malta are a land steeped in history, ancient, enigmatic, and often perplexing. Amidst the sun-baked landscapes and quiet shorelines, towering stone structures rise from the earth like silent sentinels, their origins wrapped in a thick fog of mystery. The megalithic temples of Malta, Gantija, Menajtra, and Hagar Chim, are not just ruins, but enigmas. These colossal stones, some weighing up to 50 tons, were shaped and arranged with a precision that defies the conventional understanding of prehistoric people. But who built them, and how? At first glance, the architecture seems simple, just a series of massive stone blocks arranged in semicircular patterns, some of them covered by ancient, weathered roofing stones. Yet, as we begin to peel back the layers of time, something far more intricate begins to emerge. The temples align with celestial events, their entrances pointing toward the rising sun during solstices and equinoxes, as though they were designed for rituals tied to the heavens themselves. These aren't just buildings. They appear to be instruments of astronomical observation, perhaps even astrological precision. The most accepted explanation is that these structures were built by the Neolithic people of Malta around 3600 BCE. These early settlers, it is believed, were skilled farmers and craftsmen, developing tools to carve and shape massive stones. They likely used rudimentary techniques, simple sleds, ropes, and wooden scaffolds, to position the blocks into place. But even this widely accepted theory raises questions. How could a society, with no written language, no metals, and only primitive tools, accomplish such feats of engineering? And more perplexing still, why? The passage of time has only deepened the mystery. While many scholars point to the ritualistic and religious purposes of these temples, sites for offerings, burials, or astronomical observance, their true function remains uncertain. Some have speculated that these temples could have been part of a far more complex societal structure, one that transcended the typical role of religion or worship. Were they sites of early knowledge transmission, perhaps centers for the study of the stars, mathematics, and cosmology? Or were they designed with a deeper, metaphysical purpose in mind, tied to the very fabric of the Earth and its cycles? In recent years, fringe theories have emerged that challenge the conventional narrative. Some suggest that the builders of these megalithic structures may not have been native to Malta at all. Could there have been external influences, other, now lost civilizations, or even visitors from distant lands, who brought advanced techniques and knowledge to this small island in the Mediterranean? One theory proposes that these stone temples may have been part of a global network of sacred sites, aligned with the ancient wisdom of a long-forgotten civilization. The precision with which the temples are aligned to celestial bodies, some claim, hints at knowledge far beyond what we would expect from a people living over 5,000 years ago. Could the builders have had access to a lost technology, one capable of shaping massive stones with a level of precision that still baffles engineers today? And then there's the possibility that the megalithic structures were not merely the work of ancient hands, but of something, or someone, else entirely. Could the sheer scale and craftsmanship suggest the involvement of a more advanced or even non-human civilization? The stone temples of Malta stand as a testament to human ingenuity and mystery, their true purpose still out of reach. With every theory, new questions arise. What hidden truths might still lie beneath the surface of these ancient stones? And as modern technology continues to unveil new layers of information, we may find that the answers we seek are only just beginning to surface. As we journey deeper into the heart of ancient mysteries, we find ourselves turning towards the farthest reaches of the ocean, where the line between land and water blurs in the quiet depths of the sea. Here, off the coast of Japan, lies an underwater formation that has both fascinated and perplexed those who have laid eyes upon it. The sunken city of Yonaguni. Beneath the waves, just off the coast of Yonaguni, a series of massive stone structures rise from the ocean floor, their geometric precision so striking that they seem almost impossible to ignore. Step by step, these submerged formations reveal themselves in eerie clarity. Perfectly shaped terraces, stone staircases leading to nowhere, sharp right angles, features that suggest a design far beyond the natural randomness of the ocean's erosive forces. Discovered in 1986 by a local diver, the Yonaguni Monument is often described as the remains of a lost city swallowed by the sea after a cataclysmic event thousands of years ago. But the questions that surround it are many. Was it really a city, or is it something else entirely? And more importantly, who or what could have built it? Initial studies proposed that the formation was a natural structure, the result of underwater erosion acting on layers of soft and hard rock over millennia. But the more time spent exploring Yonaguni, the less convincing this explanation becomes. The precision of the formation, especially its sharp, man-made contours, raises a compelling question. Could this have been carved by human hands? Or is it something much older, built by an unknown civilization lost to time? Some archaeologists are quick to dismiss the idea of a submerged city, arguing that the sharp edges and geometric patterns could be the result of natural processes, tectonic shifts, or even a rare combination of water currents and geological forces. But this explanation doesn't account for the unnerving regularity of the formation's symmetry. Why would natural forces create such a structured pattern, resembling terraces and roads, aligned in such a way that seems almost deliberate? And then there's the matter of its age. How old is Yonaguni, really? Some researchers suggest it could be around 10,000 years old, placing its construction well before the earliest known civilizations, possibly even predating the rise of Sumer, Egypt, and the ancient cultures we typically associate with the dawn of human history. If that is true, then what we're looking at is not just a mysterious formation, but potentially the remains of a forgotten civilization, far more advanced than we've ever been led to believe. But could such a society have existed, only to vanish, leaving nothing but these enigmatic ruins behind? A more speculative theory suggests that the monument could be the result of a lost civilization that existed during the end of the last ice age, possibly sinking into the ocean after a global catastrophe, the very type of event theorized to have triggered the great floods of ancient myth. In this theory, Yonaguni serves as a testament to a time when humanity reached a peak of sophistication, only to be obliterated by forces beyond their control. Yet, while this notion is enticing, it remains as speculative as the theories of Atlantis or ancient astronauts. Other theories, more fringe in nature, have even suggested that Yonaguni might not be a human creation at all, but the work of extraterrestrial visitors. Could advanced beings from another world have built this sunken city, leaving us only fragments of their once great civilization? The truth is, no one knows for certain, As the depths of the sea continue to shroud Yonaguni's secrets, the questions remain, each one more tantalizing than the last. Was this ancient city the work of a long-lost civilization, a forgotten piece of human history hidden beneath the waves? Or is it simply a natural formation, whose eerily perfect shape has captured our collective imagination? Whatever the answer may be, Yonaguni stands as a reminder that beneath the surface of the ocean and beneath the surface of history itself, there are mysteries waiting to be uncovered. Having journeyed beneath the waves to uncover the submerged wonders of Yonaguni, we now turn our attention to the heart of ancient Mesoamerica, where another mystery, equally as perplexing, waits to be explored. In the dense jungles of Mexico, shrouded in the mists of time, the Olmecs once carved their legacy into stone, leaving behind enormous heads, towering figures, and a culture that seems to have sprung into existence with little to no trace of its origins. The Olmec civilization, often regarded as the mother culture of Mesoamerica, rose around 1200 BCE, long before the mighty civilizations of the Maya or Aztec. Yet, despite their significance, little is known about them, who they were, how they rose to power, or why they vanished so mysteriously. The remnants of their civilization, however, speak volumes. Among the most striking features of the Olmec legacy are the colossal stone heads that stand as silent witnesses to their once great culture. These heads, some weighing over 40 tons and towering nearly 10 feet tall, were crafted from volcanic basalt, a material that was transported from distant mountains, suggesting a level of organization and resourcefulness far beyond what we might expect from such an ancient society. The precision and scale of these statues are awe-inspiring, and their faces, often angular, with wide eyes and prominent noses, have fueled endless debate among scholars and enthusiasts alike. Who were these figures meant to represent? Were they leaders, gods, or something else entirely? What makes the Olmec heads so perplexing is not just their size, but the ambiguity surrounding their purpose. While many believe they represent the Olmec rulers or deities, the sheer scale and intricacy of the statues suggest they may have held a far greater significance, possibly even beyond the human realm. Were the Olmecs trying to communicate something, perhaps a connection to the cosmos, or a message that has yet to be fully deciphered? As we delve deeper into the mystery of the Olmecs, we find that their society was not just defined by its monumental art, but by a profound understanding of the natural world. The Olmecs left behind intricate stone carvings and inscriptions that hint at advanced knowledge in astronomy, mathematics, and possibly even engineering. The alignment of their cities, for example, seems to echo a sophisticated awareness of celestial events, much like the great cultures that would follow them. But where did this knowledge come from? Some have posited that the Olmecs were the heirs to an older, forgotten civilization, one that may have existed long before their time, possibly even before the end of the last ice age. Could the Olmecs have been the inheritors of ancient wisdom passed down from a lost civilization, much like the builders of the megalithic structures we've seen in other parts of the world? Or was their knowledge the result of an entirely separate, though equally advanced, culture? Fringe theories, too, have circulated around the Olmecs, suggesting that their artistry and knowledge may have been influenced by non-human beings. Extraterrestrial visitors, perhaps, who brought with them advanced technologies and ideas. This theory draws from the peculiar features of the Olmec heads, with some speculating that their exaggerated facial features might represent beings from another world, rather than representations of earthly rulers. Despite the many theories, the true origins of the Olmec civilization remain elusive. Their culture, once so powerful and influential, left behind few written records and faded from history centuries before the rise of the Maya and Aztec. What was it that allowed them to craft such towering monuments, to build such a sophisticated society, and yet leave so little behind to explain how they came to be? And why, after centuries of influence, did they disappear without a trace, as though they had never existed at all? As we continue to explore the ruins of the Olmecs, the question lingers: what secrets lie buried beneath the earth, hidden within the stones of their great statues, waiting to be uncovered? The answers may be lost to time, but the mystery remains, ever inviting, ever enigmatic. As we continue our exploration of pre-flood megastructures, we now turn our attention to one of the most remote and enigmatic regions of the world, an ancient, arid land where the wind and sand have guarded a deep secret for millennia. In the vast desert expanse of Tassili Niger, nestled in the southern reaches of Algeria, lies an astonishing series of monuments and rock art that challenge everything we thought we knew about early human civilization. The landscape of Tassili Niger is both haunting and beautiful, an endless sea of rugged, wind-sculpted rock formations, stretching far into the horizon. It is here, amidst the barren plateau, that thousands of prehistoric paintings and carvings have been preserved, depictions of animals, mysterious symbols, and figures unlike anything found elsewhere in the world. These works of art are not merely scattered across the surface. They are etched into the very rock, carved with such precision that they appear as if they were made yesterday, despite dating back over 12,000 years. Among the most curious and perplexing features of this region are the massive stone monuments, gigantic weathered pillars and platforms that seem oddly out of place in such a desolate landscape. Some of these structures appear to be aligned with celestial bodies, their positions hinting at an advanced understanding of astronomy and timekeeping. But who built them, and why? And how did they possess such knowledge so far back in history? The most famous of these monuments are the so-called Sphinxes of Tassili, mysterious carved faces that seem to stare out over the vast desert. These enigmatic sculptures are not the simple representations of local rulers or gods, but seem to depict figures that transcend human form, their facial features marked by unusual proportions and alien-like features. Could these be depictions of beings from beyond our world, or representations of a culture that viewed the human form in a drastically different way? While the mainstream explanation for the art of Tassili Niger is that it reflects the religious beliefs and daily lives of the region's ancient inhabitants, there is a growing body of thought that suggests these images may tell a far more complex story. Some scholars propose that the carvings could represent an advanced civilization, one that flourished long before the rise of Egypt or Mesopotamia, with knowledge and wisdom that predates our understanding of ancient history. As we peer deeper into the mystery, other, more speculative theories begin to emerge. The most provocative theory posits that these carvings and stone structures could be the remnants of a lost civilization, one that, like the Olmecs or the Sumerians, was wiped from history by a cataclysmic event. But what was this advanced civilization? And what made it so sophisticated? Were they masters of engineering and astronomy? Or did they possess knowledge of something far beyond what we would ever expect from a society living in the midst of the Sahara Desert? Some have even suggested that the images of strange, otherworldly beings found in the rock art, figures with elongated limbs, large eyes, and distorted features, could be representations of extraterrestrial visitors who arrived at a time when humanity was just beginning to form organized societies. Could the builders of the monuments of Tassili Niger have had contact with beings from another world, who imparted their knowledge of the stars, technology, and the secrets of the universe? Others speculate that these monuments could be part of a much larger, lost global network of sacred sites, stretching across continents, their purpose only now beginning to be understood. Could the enigmatic symbols and carvings be a form of ancient communication? A code to unlock secrets hidden beneath the sands of time? Despite years of exploration and study, the truth about the desert monuments of Tassili Niger remains elusive. What exactly did the people who built these sites know, and how did they achieve such remarkable feats in one of the harshest environments on Earth? The answers may be buried beneath the sands, lost to time, or perhaps hidden in plain sight, waiting for us to decipher the message left behind. As the wind sweeps across the desert and the sun sets behind the stone pillars, one cannot help but wonder, what truths still lie hidden in the shadows of the Tassili Mountains? What forgotten history waits to be unearthed, if only we could unlock the secrets of these ancient desert monuments? As we journey from the desert sands of Tassili Niger, we now find ourselves drawn to the banks of the Nile, to a lesser-known yet equally captivating mystery: the ruins of Kahun, a forgotten city nestled deep in the heart of Egypt. While the pyramids of Giza and the temples of Luxor have captivated the world's imagination for centuries, Kahun remains shrouded in relative obscurity, a silent testament to a forgotten chapter in Egypt's ancient history. Kahun, also known as the City of the Middle Kingdom, was discovered in 1889 by the British archaeologist Sir Flinders Petrie. Located in the Fayum Oasis, it is a city that seems to have been deliberately abandoned and lost to time. What makes Kahun especially intriguing, however, is not just its isolation, but the bizarre nature of its ruins and the mystery surrounding its purpose. Unlike the grandiose structures of ancient Egypt, Kahun reveals a more modest yet equally perplexing landscape. At first glance, the city appears to follow a regular urban layout, with narrow streets, residential areas, and neatly arranged buildings. However, as one delves deeper into the ruins, something unexpected becomes clear. The city's architecture shows signs of rapid, hasty construction, almost as though it was built with a specific purpose in mind. Yet that purpose remains elusive. The homes, for instance, were built using mud brick and limestone, materials that were not commonly used for long-lasting structures in Egypt at the time. And the city was abandoned suddenly, leaving behind artifacts, tools, and personal belongings that suggest it was vacated in a hurry, as though the inhabitants were forced to leave for reasons unknown. Among the most puzzling discoveries at Kahun is a structure known as the Workers' Village, which some believe was used to house laborers involved in royal or state projects. But this assumption raises further questions. What kind of projects were so significant that an entire city would be constructed to accommodate the workers? And why would a settlement like Kahun, seemingly thriving at its peak, be abandoned so abruptly, with no known record of why or by whom? The city's most peculiar feature is the presence of well-preserved documents, papyri, and written records, which offer glimpses into the daily lives of its inhabitants. These documents suggest that Kahun might have been a city of considerable administrative importance, possibly even a center for trade or religious activity. But again, the exact nature of these functions remains unclear. Was Kahun a place of learning, a temple city, or perhaps a base for astronomical or mathematical research, as some have speculated? As with many other ancient ruins, fringe theories have emerged regarding Kahun's origins and purpose. Some researchers suggest that Kahun may have been the site of a lost, more advanced civilization, possibly even predating the known dynastic Egyptians. Its unexpected location in the remote Fayum Oasis could hint at its ties to a pre-dynastic culture, one that might have been wiped from history. If true, could Kahun have been part of a forgotten civilization that existed in a time before the great pharaohs, one whose advanced knowledge and skills were lost in a cataclysmic event? Another theory posits that Kahun might not have been entirely Egyptian in origin. Could it have been an outpost of foreign influence, or perhaps even a temporary settlement built by a group of explorers or invaders whose civilization was absorbed by the rising Egyptian empire? Could the city be the last remaining relic of a people whose existence has been erased from Egypt's written history? Whatever the truth may be, Kahun remains an enigma, its ruins offering only whispers of a once thriving city now lost to time. Why was it abandoned? What secrets do its strange layout and hastily constructed buildings hold? And, perhaps most crucially, what was Kahun's true purpose in the context of Egypt's larger history? As the wind sweeps across the ruins, one is left with more questions than answers. Kahun is a city that seems to defy explanation, standing as a silent witness to a time long past, waiting for its forgotten story to be told. What other mysteries lie beneath the dust of this ancient city, waiting to be uncovered? Perhaps, like so many other forgotten places, Kahun's secrets will remain hidden until the sands of time are ready to reveal them. As we move from the wind-swept sands of Egypt to the lush, tropical heart of Southeast Asia, we find ourselves in the dense jungles of Indonesia, where a different kind of mystery lies hidden beneath the canopy. Here, far from the well-trodden paths of tourists, a series of ancient temples and forgotten ruins await, shrouded in the green embrace of the forest, untouched by the passage of time. Or so it seems. Deep in the highlands of central Java, nestled among the towering mountains and mist-filled valleys, lies one of Indonesia's most remarkable yet lesser-known sites, the temples of Candi Suku and Candi Chetho. Unlike the grand structures of Angkor Wat or Borobudur, these temples are small in comparison, yet no less enigmatic. Carved from stone and adorned with intricate reliefs, they sit silently, half swallowed by the jungle, as though the earth itself has attempted to reclaim them. Overgrown trees stretch their roots into the very walls, while vines climb the structures, twisting them into strange organic forms. But the mysteries of these temples run deeper than their dramatic setting. The iconography of Candi Suku, in particular, is unlike anything else in the region. It is a temple that seems out of place, an anomaly among the more conventional Hindu and Buddhist structures of Southeast Asia. The temple is famously decorated with sculpted figures of animals, humans, and even representations of male and female genitalia. Some of the carvings suggest an exploration of life and death, creation and destruction, while others hint at spiritual or mystical rites. These images have led to speculation that Suku was more than a place of worship. It may have been a center for esoteric knowledge, a place where advanced philosophical and spiritual teachings were passed down through the ages. The temple's design itself is puzzling. Built on the side of a mountain, the layout features steep, narrow stairways leading up to a central platform, resembling the steps of a pyramid. This pyramid-like shape, combined with its somewhat unusual imagery, has led some researchers to suggest that Suku may have had connections to pre-Hindu traditions, possibly even to lost or forgotten civilizations that predate the rise of Indian influence in the region. Was this a sacred site for an ancient people whose culture has vanished without a trace? Or could it represent the teachings of an even older, forgotten knowledge, one that was abandoned or lost to time? Further up the island, in the sprawling jungles of East Java, Candi Chetho also holds its own set of mysteries. Similar to Suku, Chetho stands isolated in the wilderness, with carvings and shrines that seem to speak of a forgotten past. What's most intriguing about Candi Chetho is its connection to the ancient practice of Shivaism, a form of Hinduism that predated the more widely known forms of the religion. The temple's design and its placement high on the mountainside suggest it was used not only for ritualistic purposes but also for meditation and spiritual ascent. Did these temples once serve as a pathway for seekers of deeper spiritual knowledge? Could the mysticism they represent be a reflection of an earlier, pre-Hindu tradition that was wiped out in favor of newer religious movements? One particularly compelling theory posits that these temples were part of a wider network of sacred sites, once linked by an ancient people who had a profound understanding of the natural world, perhaps even the stars. Similar to the megalithic structures in other parts of the world, could these temples have been aligned with celestial events or astronomical cycles that we have yet to fully comprehend? Was there a once thriving civilization that spread its influence across the islands, leaving behind sacred sites designed not just for worship, but for the passing down of profound esoteric knowledge that could have been lost in the wake of a catastrophic event? Of course, mainstream archaeology offers its own explanations, suggesting that these temples were simply part of the broader wave of Hindu-Buddhist influence that swept across Southeast Asia in the early centuries of the first millennium. But even this widely accepted view leaves questions unanswered. Why, for example, are the temples so isolated from the other known centers of ancient Southeast Asian culture? And why do they feature such strange iconography, different from anything found at more famous sites like Borobudur or Angkor? As the jungle slowly reclaims these temples, it's easy to imagine that we may never fully uncover their secrets. Could there have been ancient peoples with knowledge and spiritual practices far beyond what we understand today, who left these sites as clues to their own existence? And if so, what other hidden temples or forgotten structures lie beneath the thick canopy of Indonesia's jungles waiting to reveal their stories? In the silence of the forest, the temples of Suku and Chitho stand as guardians to a lost chapter in the history of humankind. And as the jungle continues to weave its tendrils around them, one can't help but wonder, what truths might still lie buried beneath the roots of these ancient, sacred stones? After the jungle temples of Indonesia, we journey across the ancient lands of the Middle East, where another extraordinary mystery awaits. One that has stood the test of time, quietly challenging our understanding of ancient engineering and civilization. We find ourselves in the heart of Lebanon, at the site of Baalbek, where colossal monolithic stones rise from the earth, their immense size and intricate precision provoking awe and confusion alike. Baalbek is perhaps most famous for its grand Roman temple complex, dedicated to the gods Jupiter, Venus, and Bacchus. But beneath the Roman ruins lies a much older enigma, one that has confounded archaeologists, historians, and scholars for centuries. Buried within the stone foundations of these temples, particularly the Temple of Jupiter, are some of the largest and heaviest stones ever quarried and moved by human hands, blocks that weigh upwards of 800 tons. The largest of these, known as the Stone of the Pregnant Woman, is so massive that it seems almost impossible to fathom how it could have been transported, let alone carved and placed with such precision. The sheer scale of these stones is enough to raise eyebrows, but it is the method of their construction that truly defies conventional explanation. The stones are not only enormous in size, but their fit is so exact that modern engineers and masons would struggle to replicate the craftsmanship. The blocks, some measuring over 20 feet in length and 15 feet in height, fit together with such precision that there is no space between them, an accuracy that is almost alien in its execution. How did ancient builders, using primitive tools, manage to cut and transport such behemoths over vast distances? And why were these massive stones used in the foundations of the temples long before the Romans arrived? Mainstream historians suggest that the stones were placed by the Phoenicians, the predecessors to the Roman Empire, who built the early structures on the site. The Romans later expanded and enhanced the complex, using their own advanced techniques to add the temple structures we see today. However, this explanation leaves many questions unanswered. The size of the stones, as well as their precise alignment, suggests a level of knowledge and technology that seems far beyond the capabilities of the Phoenicians, especially when you consider the tools and methods that would have been available to them at the time. As we move beyond the conventional explanations, more speculative theories begin to surface. Some researchers suggest that the stonework of Baalbek could be the legacy of a lost civilization, one with knowledge and technology far surpassing what we have attributed to the ancient world. Could the builders of Baalbek have possessed knowledge of advanced engineering or even an understanding of energy manipulation? The fact that these massive stones are placed in a way that some believe aligns with celestial events has led some to wonder if the site was intended as a kind of cosmic observatory or even a power center of sorts, harnessing unknown energies from the earth or the heavens. Other, even more fringe theories have emerged, suggesting that Baalbek was the site of extraterrestrial intervention. The precision and scale of the stonework, paired with the apparent lack of tools or methods capable of achieving such feats, has led some to propose that the structures were built, or at least influenced, by beings from beyond our world. Could the enormous stones have been manipulated by technologies far beyond our current understanding? Technologies brought by those who once visited, or perhaps still visit, our planet? Despite the allure of these theories, no concrete evidence exists to confirm any of these speculative ideas. What is known is that Baalbek's monolithic stones, with their unparalleled size and enigmatic craftsmanship, continue to defy explanation. Could they have been part of a far older civilization, one lost to the ravages of time? Or are they the remnants of a highly advanced culture whose knowledge has vanished without a trace? As the sun sets over the ancient ruins, the question remains: what secrets does Baalbek still hold beneath its towering stones? And what knowledge, lost to history, might one day be uncovered in the shadows of these awe-inspiring monolithic structures? As the stones of Baalbek recede into the distant past, we turn our gaze toward the distant shores of the Pacific, to a remote island that has fascinated explorers, archaeologists, and curious minds for centuries: Easter Island, or Rapa Nui. Here, on a lonely stretch of land, far from the reaches of the nearest continents, stands one of the world's most perplexing and awe-inspiring archaeological sites, the Moai, the towering stone statues that guard the island's shores like silent sentinels, their faces staring out over the vast ocean. The Moai are an iconic symbol of Easter Island, but their mystery runs far deeper than their size or appearance. The island, which measures just 14 miles long and 7 miles wide, is home to nearly 900 of these statues, each one carved from volcanic tuff, a soft, porous stone found in the Rano Raraku quarry on the island. The sheer number of these statues, some reaching up to 33 feet tall and weighing as much as 75 tons, raises immediate questions. How were they transported across the island? How did a small, isolated society manage to create such an immense number of statues, some of which were placed in remote locations, far from the quarry where they were carved? The traditional explanation is that the statues were carved to represent ancestral figures, with each Moai serving as a deified ancestor meant to watch over and protect the communities. The larger the statue, the more powerful its spiritual significance, it is believed. The construction of the statues is thought to have been a monumental task, one that spanned several centuries, from around 1000 to 1600 CE, with many of the statues left unfinished, abandoned in the quarry. Yet, even with this explanation, the logistics of moving these giant statues remains an enigma. Conventional wisdom suggests that the statues were transported using a system of ropes and coordinated effort, but modern experiments have shown that moving such massive stones by this method would be incredibly difficult, if not impossible, without some form of advanced technique or additional manpower. The idea that the islanders were able to walk the statues upright, a theory proposed by some researchers, adds another layer of intrigue, but still does not fully explain how such colossal objects could have been maneuvered across the rugged terrain. Even more mysterious is the question of why the statues were erected in the first place. What purpose did they serve beyond their religious and symbolic significance? Some believe that the statues were part of a larger, complex spiritual or cultural system, one that is now lost to history. Was there an ancient ritual associated with the Moai, perhaps linked to the celestial movements, the stars, or the equinoxes? The positioning of the statues, many of them facing inland toward the villages, suggests a deep connection to the ancestors. But could their placement also be a map, a guide to something larger? Or could the positioning have been linked to astronomical or energy patterns that the islanders understood and harnessed in ways we are only beginning to grasp? The fate of the Moai and the people who carved them adds another layer of mystery. It is believed that by the time European explorers first arrived on the island in the 18th century, the statues had already begun to fall, many toppled over, some lying broken across the ground. What caused this sudden destruction? Was it the result of internal conflict, as suggested by some accounts of the Birdman cult that emerged after the statue building period? Or was it the culmination of a larger, more catastrophic event, perhaps environmental collapse or resource depletion, that led to the island's decline? In recent years, fringe theories have emerged suggesting that the statues may not have been solely the work of the indigenous Rapa Nui people, but perhaps the product of an even older, lost civilization, one that predates the island's known history. Could there have been an advanced, pre-flood culture that once inhabited Easter Island, leaving behind the Moai as their final legacy? Some even speculate that the statues could have been constructed as markers or memorials by seafaring peoples from other parts of the Pacific or even farther afield, remnants of an ancient civilization that spread across the globe long before recorded history. As the sun sets on the mysterious landscape of Rapa Nui, the Moai stand frozen in time, their silent faces still watching over the island, holding the secrets of a lost world in their stone expressions. What truths do these ancient statues hold, hidden beneath the surface of history, waiting to be uncovered? Could Easter Island's strange, isolated culture be a key to understanding a far older chapter in human history? As with so many other ancient mysteries, the answers remain elusive, perhaps forever buried beneath the weight of the centuries. After our journey through the monumental stones of Baalbek, we now find ourselves in the vast and remote expanse of the Pacific Ocean, where a mystery even older and no less enigmatic awaits. Easter Island, the small, isolated speck of land known as Rapa Nui, has captivated explorers and archaeologists for centuries. This island, more than 2,000 miles from the nearest landmass, is home to one of the most remarkable and puzzling archaeological sites in the world, the towering Moai statues. These imposing stone figures, with their exaggerated features and monumental size, stand silently across the island, staring toward the horizon or inward to the sacred grounds, seemingly watching over the forgotten past. With nearly 900 of these statues scattered across the island, one might wonder, who were the people who created them, and why? What knowledge or belief could have driven them to craft these giants of stone? The Moai were carved primarily from volcanic tuff, the soft rock found at the Rano Raraku quarry, and many of them stand as tall as 33 feet, their weight reaching up to 75 tons. The craftsmanship involved in carving these statues, which represent ancestors or powerful figures, is impressive in itself. Yet, the most puzzling aspect of Easter Island's monolithic wonders lies in their transportation. How did the islanders, with no advanced technology, move these massive statues across the rugged, isolated terrain? Theories abound, from using logs to roll the statues to more modern speculations that the statues were walked upright with a system of ropes and coordinated effort, but none have fully explained the complexity of the task. The traditional theory asserts that the moai were carved as representations of deified ancestors, placed upon stone platforms called ahu, to honor and connect with the spiritual world. The larger the statue, the greater the mana, or spiritual power, it was thought to embody. However, this straightforward explanation still leaves many unanswered questions. Why, for example, would the islanders create statues in such vast numbers, especially when their purpose remains largely speculative? Why were many statues left unfinished in the quarry, and why were so many others toppled during the island's later history? As the years passed, especially after European contact in the 18th century, the moai began to fall, often toppled by internal conflicts, the rise of new religious practices, and the collapse of the island's fragile ecosystem. But what caused the destruction of these statues in the first place? Was it simply the result of political upheaval, or did it signify a deeper cultural or environmental collapse? More speculative theories suggest that the moai might not have been solely the creation of the island's inhabitants at all. Could these statues have been influenced by an even older, lost civilization, one that predated the known history of Easter Island? Some believe that the knowledge required to carve, move, and place these giant statues may have come from an advanced culture, now forgotten, perhaps even a pre-flood civilization that existed before recorded history. Other theories, more fringe in nature, hint at the possibility of extraterrestrial influence, suggesting that the moai may be the product of visitors from beyond our world, with technology that the islanders could not have replicated. Still others speculate about the island's connection to ancient astronomical knowledge, pointing to the orientation of the statues and their alignment with celestial bodies. Could the moai have been used as markers for an ancient system of navigation, or perhaps as a form of energy-conducting technology? What if, in some way, these statues were more than just monuments to the dead, but part of an ancient, hidden system meant to preserve knowledge lost to time? As we gaze upon the silent, weathered figures of Rapa Nui, it is impossible not to wonder, what do these statues truly represent? Were they part of a forgotten civilization that once held knowledge we can scarcely comprehend, or do they hold the keys to mysteries that have yet to be revealed? The island's answers remain buried beneath layers of time, and as the ocean waves crash against the shores of Easter Island, the statues stand as silent witnesses to a history that may never be fully understood. What truths remain hidden beneath their stone gazes? After the giants of stone on Easter Island, our journey takes us deeper into the Andean highlands of South America, to a place that has eluded explorers for centuries, a city lost in time, hidden in the dense jungles of Peru. This is Vilcabamba, the elusive last refuge of the Inca Empire, and a mystery that has captivated adventurers, historians, and archaeologists since it was first mentioned in ancient Spanish chronicles. Vilcabamba, often referred to as the Lost City of the Incas, is believed to be the final stronghold where the Inca rulers and their people retreated after the fall of their mighty empire to Spanish conquistadors in the 16th century. While Machu Picchu, another Inca site, has become famous across the world, Vilcabamba remains shrouded in mystery, both because of its remote location and the uncertain nature of its discovery. Was it ever truly found? Or is it still waiting to be unearthed, hidden beneath layers of overgrowth and history? The location of Vilcabamba has been debated for centuries. According to Spanish chroniclers like Juan de Betanzos, the city was located somewhere in the dense jungles of the Peruvian Andes, where the last Inca rulers, including Tupac Amaru and his successor, Manco Inca, sought refuge after the fall of Cusco in 1533. The Spanish accounts speak of a fortified city nestled in the rugged mountains, a final bastion of the Inca resistance. Yet, despite numerous attempts to locate it, the exact location of Vilcabamba remained elusive for hundreds of years. Early explorers and archaeologists were left with few clues, their searches yielding only sparse evidence, fragmented ruins, ancient pathways, and tantalizing whispers of a lost city. In the 19th century, some believed they had found the city's remains in the form of a remote site known as Vitkos, located near the town of Pichigua. This site, with its impressive terracing, monumental stones, and intricate agricultural systems, seemed to match the descriptions in the Spanish texts. Yet, even here, uncertainty remained. Was this the fabled Vilcabamba, or just another remote Inca settlement lost to time? More recent discoveries, such as the 2002 unearthing of what is believed to be the site of Usta Hispana, have further fueled the debate. The site features impressive stonework and ruins, but definitive proof linking it to the lost city has not yet materialized. The dense jungle, often impassable and concealing its secrets beneath thick layers of vegetation, has made any definitive excavation difficult, leaving archaeologists with only pieces of the puzzle. What makes Vilcabamba even more intriguing is the mystery surrounding the Incas' final years. The last Incas did not simply disappear. They fought against the Spanish in a series of guerrilla campaigns from their stronghold in the jungle. How did they manage to create such a formidable resistance in such a remote location? Was it the ingenuity of the Incas that allowed them to survive in a place as hostile as this? Or was there something more to the region, a hidden advantage that the Inca leveraged for survival? Some have speculated that the location itself may have had spiritual significance, offering the Incas not just physical protection, but also a connection to their ancestors or to forces beyond the physical realm. The mystery of Vilcabamba deepens when considering the fate of the Incas after their final defeat. Were they truly defeated? Or did some of the Inca elite manage to escape, blending into the surrounding population, leaving behind only fragments of their once mighty civilization? Stories of the lost city persist in local legend, with some suggesting that the remnants of the Inca Empire are not lost, but merely hidden from view, awaiting rediscovery. And so, the question remains, is Vilcabamba truly lost, or is it merely waiting for the right moment to reveal itself? The city's story is one of survival, resistance, and a civilization whose legacy refuses to fade into history. As we stand on the precipice of discovery, we must ask, what still lies hidden within the jungles of Peru, waiting to challenge our understanding of the Inca Empire and the mysteries that shaped its downfall? From the remote jungles of the Andes, we now journey into the dense rainforests of Central America, where another forgotten civilization waits in the shadows of time, Tikal. Hidden within the vast expanse of the Guatemalan jungle, Tikal was once the heart of the ancient Maya civilization. Today, it stands as one of the most remarkable and mysterious archaeological sites in the world, its towering pyramids piercing the canopy, a silent reminder of a long-lost world. Tikal, with its soaring temples, grand plazas, and intricate stone carvings, was one of the most powerful cities in the Maya world. At its peak, around the 8th century, it boasted a population of perhaps 100,000 people. The city spanned over 6 square miles, its structures aligned with astonishing precision, and its influence reaching across Mesoamerica. Yet, as with many ancient cities, Tikal's sudden decline remains one of the great mysteries of history. By the time European explorers arrived in the Americas, Tikal had already been abandoned for centuries. The jungle had slowly reclaimed the city, enveloping its stone temples in a thick blanket of green. What happened to the once thriving metropolis? Why did its inhabitants suddenly vanish, leaving behind no clear trace of their departure? Was it a result of warfare, climate change, or internal strife? Common explanations put forward by scholars? Or is there something more to Tikal's decline, something that remains hidden beneath the layers of the jungle? The city's layout alone raises questions. The towering temples, such as the Temple of the Great Jaguar, stand in sharp contrast to the sprawling network of plazas and residential areas. The site is home to a number of intricate stelae, their carved inscriptions chronicling the history of Tikal's rulers. These stelae offer a glimpse into the past, detailing the city's politics, rituals, and dynastic struggles. Yet, many of the inscriptions also speak of a world that is deeply spiritual, one in which the rulers were thought to possess divine power, and the city itself was a conduit for cosmic forces. Some have speculated that Tikal's rulers were not just political leaders, but intermediaries between the earthly and the divine, using their pyramids and temples as astronomical observatories, or even as tools of cosmic energy. The alignment of Tikal's structures with the stars, the sun, and the moon hints at a deeper understanding of the natural world. Was Tikal simply a city, or was it a carefully designed cosmological center built to harness the forces of the universe itself? In recent years, alternative theories have emerged. Some have suggested that the city's decline was not a natural occurrence at all, but rather a result of forces beyond the Maya's control, perhaps an external influence, or even an advanced knowledge that was lost over time. Could the Maya have discovered something in their rituals or in their understanding of the natural world that we are still unable to comprehend? Or was Tikal, like many other ancient civilizations, a victim of its own success, overwhelmed by the pressures of warfare, environmental degradation, or an unforeseen catastrophe? As we stand before the ruins of Tikal, gazing up at the towering pyramids that still pierce the jungle canopy, we are left to wonder, what truly caused the fall of this magnificent city? What secrets still lie buried beneath the roots of the trees and the stone walls, waiting to be uncovered by the next generation of explorers? From the towering pyramids of Tikal, we now turn our attention to another ancient site, nestled high in the Andes at the edge of Lake Titicaca. Here, at an altitude of nearly 12,000 feet, lies the mysterious city of Tiwanaku. Its ruins, scattered across the Bolivian highlands, have long fascinated historians, archaeologists, and explorers alike. The ancient city, once a thriving center of power, remains a riddle that challenges our understanding of pre-Columbian civilizations. Tiwanaku's most striking feature is its monumental stonework, massive blocks, some weighing several tons, meticulously shaped and fitted together with a precision that seems beyond the capabilities of the time. The site is home to remarkable structures like the Puerta del Sol, Gate of the Sun, a large stone gateway carved with intricate figures and symbolic motifs, as well as the Pumapunku platform, where stones appear to have been cut with an almost otherworldly precision, their edges smooth and uniform, resembling the work of modern machinery. How were these massive stones transported and carved with such exactitude? And why are there no clear records of the civilization that constructed them? The Tiwanaku culture is believed to have flourished between 500 and 1000 CE, yet its influence extends far beyond its known history. The city itself was an important center for religious and astronomical practices, with its alignment suggesting a deep knowledge of the stars. The Puerta del Sol, for instance, is thought to have once been part of a larger ritualistic complex that may have been used for celestial observation, tying the civilization to the heavens in ways that we are only beginning to understand. Could Tiwanaku have been an ancient center of cosmic knowledge, with rituals that connected its people to the stars and the forces of the universe? While mainstream scholars point to Tiwanaku as a major center of Andean culture, many questions remain unanswered. The site's sudden abandonment around the end of the first millennium adds to the enigma. Was it environmental decline, warfare, or a mysterious event that caused the civilization to vanish? Some theories suggest that Tiwanaku may have been a victim of climate change, or that its people moved away due to an undiscovered catastrophe. But others have proposed more speculative explanations, could Tiwanaku have been abandoned due to its inhabitants' knowledge of some profound cosmic or spiritual revelation, the implications of which they were unable to grasp or control? The mystery deepens when we consider the possibility that Tiwanaku was not merely a product of its time, but instead the remnants of an older civilization, perhaps one that predated known Andean cultures by millennia. Could this ancient city have been the work of a lost, pre-flood society whose knowledge and technology were so advanced that they seemed almost supernatural? Or is Tiwanaku simply an extraordinary, albeit conventional, example of the capabilities of the Andean peoples? As we look upon the ruins of Tiwanaku, the questions persist. What secrets still lie beneath its ancient stones, waiting to be uncovered? What knowledge, lost to time, might we still find, if only we knew where to look? The city remains a gateway to the past, one whose mysteries refuse to fade into history. As we move from the lofty heights of Tiwanaku to a land far older, we encounter one of the most profound archaeological discoveries of the modern era. Göbekli Tepe, a megalithic site hidden in the heart of southeastern Turkey. Here, amidst the rolling hills, lies a site so ancient and enigmatic that it challenges everything we thought we knew about the dawn of human civilization. Göbekli Tepe's age alone is enough to astonish. Carbon dating places its construction at around 9600 BCE, predating Stonehenge by more than 6,000 years, and the pyramids of Giza by over 7,000. The site consists of enormous stone pillars, some weighing up to 10 tons, arranged in circles and adorned with intricate carvings of animals, abstract symbols, and mysterious figures. Unlike anything seen in the ancient world, these structures are thought to have been erected by hunter-gatherers, people with no known writing system or complex tools, whose way of life was fundamentally different from that of the city-dwelling societies that followed. So how did these people, living in a pre-agricultural world, construct such a monumental site with the resources at their disposal? Scholars have long debated the purpose of Göbekli Tepe, with many believing it was a temple or a religious sanctuary. Its design, with its central pillars arranged in circles, evokes a sense of ritualistic importance, suggesting it was a place where celestial alignments, spiritual practices, or astronomical observations took place. The carvings, depictions of animals such as lions, snakes, and scorpions, appear to symbolize power, nature, and perhaps even forces beyond human comprehension. The question, though, is, why would such an elaborate structure be built at a time when societies were primarily focused on survival, and why did the builders choose to abandon it after just a few centuries? While traditional explanations suggest that Göbekli Tepe represents an early form of religious expression, alternative theories delve into more speculative territory. Some researchers have suggested that the site could have had a much more complex function, perhaps even serving as a kind of ancient astronomical observatory or as a meeting place for a lost civilization with advanced knowledge of the stars. Could this be the work of a culture far more sophisticated than we've imagined, a culture whose influence reached across time and space? Or might it be evidence of a much older and now forgotten civilization, lost to history in a flood or cataclysmic event? What is certain is that Göbekli Tepe pushes the boundaries of our understanding. It invites us to reconsider the very origins of human culture, spirituality, and technology. The deeper question remains: what truths, buried beneath layers of stone and earth, still lie waiting to be discovered? And what ancient wisdom, lost in the sands of time, might still echo through the walls of Göbekli Tepe, urging us to look back before the flood? From the forgotten hills of Göbekli Tepe, we travel to the sun-scorched plains of ancient Mesopotamia, where another enigma of the ancient world rises from the earth. Vast, imposing ziggurats, the towering structures that once connected the heavens with the earth. In the cradle of civilization, where the Tigris and Euphrates flow through modern-day Iraq, the ziggurats stand as silent monuments to a time when mankind believed it could bridge the gap between mortals and gods. These stepped pyramids, with their towering heights and monumental scale, were the centers of religious life in the ancient cities of Sumer, Akkad, and Babylon. Each ziggurat, dedicated to a specific god or goddess, was a temple complex designed to house the divine, with grand staircases leading up to terraces where rituals and ceremonies would take place. At their peaks, shrines stood in honor of deities like Anu, Enlil, and Marduk. But what compelled the ancient builders of these monumental structures to construct such immense, multi-tiered temples, sometimes rising more than 100 feet into the air? What were they trying to communicate through these towering forms? The design of the ziggurats itself sparks curiosity. Unlike the pyramids of Egypt, which were built as tombs, ziggurats were living temples. But why did they need to reach such extraordinary heights? Could the ancients have believed that ascending these massive structures brought them closer to the gods, both literally and spiritually? The idea of the ziggurat as a mountain of the gods suggests that these structures were not just religious sites, but symbolic representations of a cosmic order where the earthly and divine realms intersected. Yet while the purpose of the ziggurats is generally agreed upon, the methods behind their construction remain a mystery. These immense structures were built with sun-baked bricks, some weighing over 20 kilograms each, and no definitive explanation exists as to how such large-scale construction was achieved without the advanced technologies we associate with modern engineering. What tools and knowledge did the Sumerians possess that allowed them to construct these massive towers with such precision, and why were they abandoned once completed? Some fringe theories suggest that the ziggurats were more than just temples, perhaps serving as early forms of astronomical observatories or even as gateways for divine communication. Could they have been designed to align with celestial events, eclipses, planetary alignments, or the rising of stars, marking important moments in the religious calendar? Some have even speculated that the ziggurats may have been built to harness cosmic energy, their staircases symbolizing a path to a higher state of existence, a belief that transcends mere ritual and touches on metaphysical ideas that we have yet to fully comprehend. As we stand before the remnants of these towering structures, the questions linger. Why did the ancient Mesopotamians invest so much time and energy into building such grand monuments? Were they merely symbols of devotion, or were they designed for a purpose far beyond religious ritual, something that may have been lost to time, waiting to be rediscovered? And as we continue to unearth the layers of history buried beneath the sand, how many more secrets of the ziggurats and their builders remain hidden, just out of reach, waiting to reveal themselves to a new generation of explorers? Beneath the tranquil waters of Egypt's Mediterranean coast lies a city that once thrived as a key gateway between the ancient world and the Mediterranean, a place known as Thonis Heraklion. Now lost beneath the waves for over a millennium, it has slowly re-emerged from the depths, unveiling a forgotten chapter of human history. This sunken city, once thought to be little more than a legend, has begun to reveal itself to the modern world, its ruins scattered beneath the sea like fragments of a forgotten dream. In the year 2000, an underwater archaeological team led by Frank Gaudio discovered the first remnants of Thonis Heraklion, buried under approximately 30 feet of water. The findings were nothing short of extraordinary: colossal statues, massive stone blocks inscribed with ancient hieroglyphs, and the remains of towering temples. There were even entire streets with roads lined by large pillars and entire ships that had once docked at the city's vibrant port. But how did a city of such grand scale and importance, once known to be a thriving hub of commerce and culture, end up at the bottom of the sea? Historical texts mention Thonis Herakleion as a key port that acted as the entry point to Egypt for Greek merchants and pilgrims, offering access to the riches of the ancient world. Its sister city, Herakleion, served as a crossroads for trade and religion, where Egyptian gods mingled with Greek deities. Yet by the 8th century AD, the city had seemingly disappeared from the records, its fate unknown, until now. How did a bustling metropolis, with monuments and temples to gods like Amun and Osiris, slip beneath the surface of the sea? The answer may lie in the city's dramatic topography, situated on a stretch of land where the Nile's branches meet the Mediterranean. The region was prone to earthquakes and shifting tectonic plates, which could have caused the city to sink gradually over time, with parts of it lost to a combination of natural forces. However, some theories suggest that the city's downfall may have been more sudden, possibly linked to a catastrophic event, a massive flood, an earthquake, or even a combination of both, devastating the city in a matter of days. As the underwater team continues to unearth more of Thonis Herakleion, questions abound. Could there be more to the city's disappearance than mere natural forces? Was there something more extraordinary at play, an ancient flood perhaps, or a forgotten technology that the city's builders used to protect themselves from such a disaster? And just as the city's temples once gazed toward the horizon, what other mysteries lie hidden beneath the waves, waiting to be uncovered? In the depths of the Mediterranean, where the ruins rest undisturbed by time, one can't help but wonder, how much more of Thonis Herakleion remains to be discovered, buried in the sand and sea, its secrets waiting to be unlocked by the curious minds of the present? Nestled deep within the rugged mountains of southern Jordan, hidden in the vast expanse of the desert, lies one of the most breathtaking and enigmatic cities ever built by human hands, Petra. Carved from the rose-red cliffs of sandstone, its intricate facades and winding passageways form a city that seems to emerge, not from the earth, but from the rock itself. Often referred to as the Rose City, due to its striking color, Petra is a testament to an ancient civilization's ingenuity, a place where nature and human artistry seamlessly merge. Yet the true story behind its origins remains shrouded in mystery. The city of Petra, once the thriving capital of the Nabatean kingdom, was established sometime around the 6th century BCE. Its strategic location, at the crossroads of trade routes linking Arabia, Egypt, and the Mediterranean, made it a bustling hub for commerce. The Nabateans, a skilled and wealthy people, flourished in this city, creating a thriving economy based on the trade of spices, incense, and precious metals. Their influence stretched across the region, and their city was known far and wide. But what sets Petra apart is not merely its wealth or its strategic position. It is the way it was built. The facades of its grand temples, tombs, and even entire buildings are intricately carved into the rock itself, a feat of engineering and artistry that raises many questions. How did the Nabateans manage to create such elaborate structures with such precision? What tools did they use, and how did they overcome the challenges of building into solid stone? More perplexing still, how did they transport the massive amounts of water required to sustain such a city in the arid desert? Historically, Petra was lost to the world for centuries, hidden from view by the shifting sands of time. It wasn't until the early 19th century, when Swiss explorer Johann Ludwig Burckhardt stumbled upon the site in 1812, that the world was reminded of this architectural marvel. But even now, centuries after its rediscovery, many aspects of Petra remain unexplained. While the city's general purpose as a trade center is well understood, the finer details, such as the precise methods used to carve its structures and the engineering behind its water management systems, remain enigmatic. Speculative theories abound. Some suggest that the Nabateans were not merely skilled craftsmen, but that they were in possession of lost or advanced technologies, perhaps inherited from an older civilization or even from extraterrestrial sources. Others point to the possibility that Petra's architecture was designed with purposes beyond commerce. Could it have been a sacred site, aligned with celestial bodies, or even built to harness cosmic energy? More questions emerge when considering the city's eventual decline. Petra was abandoned by the Nabateans by the 4th century CE, and its downfall is often attributed to changing trade routes and the rise of other regional powers. Yet, is it possible that something more sinister led to its collapse? Could Petra's abandonment have been connected to environmental changes, catastrophic events, or an unexplained loss of knowledge? As we continue to explore the mysteries of Petra, we find ourselves staring into the heart of an ancient enigma. How much of its true history remains hidden beneath the sandstone cliffs, and what untold secrets might still lie buried, waiting to be uncovered by those willing to look beneath the surface? Hidden deep within the verdant plains of central China, far from the well-trodden paths of modern civilization, lies a mystery that has remained mostly obscured for centuries: the giant pyramids of China. These ancient structures, located in the province of Shanxi, rise up from the earth, their true size and purpose still shrouded in secrecy. Much less known than their Egyptian counterparts, these pyramids stand as silent witnesses to a forgotten past, their secrets buried beneath layers of time, earth, and legend. At first glance, these pyramids might seem like natural hills covered in thick vegetation, with their true purpose only revealed upon closer inspection. The largest of these structures, the mausoleum of the Western Han Dynasty, stands at over 40 meters tall, its shape unmistakably resembling that of a pyramid. The landscape around it is dotted with smaller mounds, each potentially hiding the remnants of ancient constructions. The most remarkable part, however, is what lies beneath these mounds. In some cases, subterranean tombs, treasure troves, and artifacts have been uncovered, offering tantalizing glimpses into a civilization long lost. The Chinese pyramids have been largely overlooked by historians and archaeologists for years, mainly due to their location in a less traveled region and the Chinese government's secrecy surrounding them. For decades, foreign explorers were prohibited from fully investigating the sites, and many of the excavations were conducted with limited access to the public eye. This lack of transparency has only fueled speculation, giving rise to theories that stretch beyond the accepted narratives of ancient China. While mainstream historians attribute these structures to the tombs of ancient emperors and nobility, the true origins and purpose of the pyramids remain unclear. The most perplexing element is their striking similarity to the pyramids of Egypt and Mesoamerica, both in shape and purpose. Some theorists propose that ancient civilizations, perhaps even predating recorded history, shared knowledge of pyramid construction. Could these pyramids be the work of a lost civilization whose cultural influence stretched far beyond what we know? Others, more speculative in nature, wonder if the pyramids are the product of a much older and perhaps more advanced civilization, one with knowledge and technologies lost to the ravages of time. Could they be linked to the pre-flood megastructures discussed earlier in this journey? Were the Chinese pyramids built as part of a global network of ancient monuments, aligned with celestial events, or constructed for purposes we can only begin to fathom? Despite the intrigue surrounding the pyramids, much of their mystery remains unsolved. How many more of these hidden pyramids are buried beneath the earth, waiting to be unearthed? And what might they reveal about an ancient world, one that existed long before the rise of written history? As the sun begins to dip below the horizon, casting long shadows across the banks of the Nile, the Temple of Karnak stands in quiet majesty. It is one of the largest and most awe-inspiring religious sites in the world, its towering columns and intricate carvings a testament to the grandeur of ancient Egypt. The site, located near modern-day Luxor, was dedicated to Amun-Ra, the king of the gods, and over centuries it became a center of power, pilgrimage, and mystery. Walking through the great hypostyle hall, the visitor is overwhelmed by the scale of the columns, some reaching over 70 feet high, each meticulously carved with scenes of gods and pharaohs in various poses of reverence. The sheer size of the temple itself is staggering, with corridors that seem to stretch on forever, their walls adorned with depictions of royal ceremonies, divine offerings, and celestial events. How did the ancient Egyptians, with their limited tools and resources, manage to create such an architectural marvel? Yet, despite the grandeur of Karnak, much of its story remains a puzzle. While it is widely accepted that the temple was constructed over a period of more than 2,000 years, many questions linger about how such massive structures could be completed with such precision and symmetry. The weight of the stones, some weighing as much as 60 tons, would have been an incredible challenge to move and place with the technology known to us from that era. Some suggest that the Egyptians may have had access to knowledge or tools that have since been lost to time, tools that could defy our understanding of engineering. More intriguing still are the numerous inscriptions and carvings that hint at mysteries beyond the temple's religious function. A series of enigmatic reliefs and texts in the temple's halls appear to describe celestial phenomena, alignments with the stars, solar eclipses, and even astrological events that suggest an advanced understanding of the heavens. Were the priests of Karnak truly just religious leaders? Or were they also scholars and astronomers, mapping the movements of the cosmos with an accuracy that was centuries ahead of their time? Even more baffling are the theories that suggest the Temple of Karnak may not have been built in the way we think. Some propose that the site could have been an ancient power center or energy hub, a place designed to harness some form of natural or cosmic energy. The alignment of the temple with certain celestial bodies, and the suggestion that the structure's very design may have had esoteric significance, leads to questions about the real purpose behind this ancient wonder. Was it simply a place of worship, or was it a focal point for something far more profound, something we may not fully comprehend? The more we learn about the Temple of Karnak, the more questions arise. How were the ancients able to construct such a monumental site, and what was its true purpose? What knowledge has been lost to time, hidden beneath the sand and stone? The answers, if they exist, remain buried in the depths of Egypt's ancient past, waiting for those willing to uncover them. Nestled deep in the heart of the Yucatan Peninsula, hidden beneath the thick jungle canopy, lies the ancient city of Uxmal. Unlike the more famous pyramids of Chichen Itza or Tikal, Uxmal is often overshadowed in the popular imagination, yet its ruins are nothing short of extraordinary. The city's name, meaning thrice built in the Mayan language, speaks to the ongoing construction and transformation that took place here across centuries. Yet, even now, its monumental structures raise questions that remain unanswered. The city is dominated by the Pyramid of the Magician, a strange, elliptical structure that towers over the landscape. Its curved base, rising steeply to a pointed summit, defies the more angular forms of other Mayan pyramids. The craftsmanship is beyond impressive. Its tightly fitting stones seem almost impossibly precise, as though they were molded into place rather than carved. The very shape of the pyramid, often described as mysterious by archaeologists, challenges conventional understanding of Mayan architecture. What drove the Maya to build in this unusual, seemingly impractical form? Beyond the pyramid, the nunnery quadrangle, with its intricate stone carvings and detailed facades, continues to mesmerize those who wander its vast courtyards. What are the meanings behind the serpentine motifs that snake their way across the walls? And what was the true purpose of these buildings? The structure's name, Nunnery Quadrangle, is a colonial misinterpretation. No one truly knows what the buildings were used for. Was it a center for religious rites, an astronomical observatory, or perhaps something more? The very size and arrangement of the complex suggests that Uxmal was not merely a settlement, but a city of immense importance, one that was intricately tied to the celestial movements that the Maya so revered. But it's not only the architecture that stands out in Uxmal. The precision with which the Maya designed their cities and their connection to astronomical phenomena is legendary. The buildings are aligned with the movement of the stars, the solstices, and the equinoxes, revealing an advanced understanding of the cosmos. Yet, how did the Maya possess such sophisticated knowledge? How were they able to construct these enormous structures with such accuracy, using tools and methods that seem primitive by today's standards? Some have speculated that the city of Uxmal was more than just a ceremonial center. Could it have been an ancient power hub, designed to tap into a hidden energy source, perhaps one tied to the Earth itself? The peculiar construction techniques and the alignment of the city's structures with celestial bodies have led some to wonder, was Uxmal a city of the gods, or a place where human knowledge intersected with something more enigmatic? As we stand among the ruins of Uxmal today, the answers remain elusive. Was it the work of a people far more advanced than we often give them credit for? Or is there something deeper, something we have yet to understand, hidden within these sacred stones? What knowledge, if any, has been lost to time, buried beneath centuries of jungle and mystery? The ancient city of Uxmal holds its secrets close, and perhaps, like so many other ruins of the past, the full story is still waiting to be uncovered. Tucked away in the highlands of northern Ethiopia, beneath the shadow of the Simien Mountains, lies one of the most extraordinary feats of architectural ingenuity ever conceived by humankind: the rock-hewn churches of Lalibela. Carved entirely from solid volcanic rock, these sacred structures are not merely built, they are chiseled into the earth itself, a testament to a long-lost devotion and artistry that still eludes full understanding. The town of Lalibela is home to 11 monolithic churches, each one a breathtaking example of both engineering and spiritual ambition. The most famous of these, Beta Georgis, stands alone in its imposing beauty, shaped like a cross and carved into the rock with such precision that it seems to have grown organically from the ground. The stark contrast between the rugged volcanic terrain and the delicate, intricate carvings on the church's walls only deepens the mystery. How could such a feat of craftsmanship be accomplished without modern tools or technology? Traditionally, these churches are believed to have been constructed in the 12th and 13th centuries, under the reign of King Lalibela, who sought to create a new Jerusalem after Muslim conquests closed off access to the holy city of Jerusalem. Yet, despite this accepted narrative, there are glaring questions that persist. The scale of the undertaking and the technical expertise required to carve these vast, multi-level structures from solid rock suggest that the craftsmen must have possessed knowledge and skills far beyond what was expected for their time. Even more puzzling is the question of how the labor was coordinated. The churches are connected by a complex network of tunnels, some of which stretch for hundreds of meters, leading from one sacred space to another. How could such a vast subterranean network be designed and executed with such precision without the benefit of architectural blueprints or any of the tools that we would consider essential for such a monumental task? The tunnels themselves, often narrow and treacherous, seem to defy any conventional means of construction, leading some to wonder, was this an effort born from divine inspiration? Or was there something more at play? Some have suggested that the builders of Lalibela may have had access to lost technologies, tools, or methods that have since been forgotten, a theory bolstered by the perfect symmetry and alignment of these churches with the surrounding landscape. Could the geography itself have played a role in the creation of these structures? Or is it possible that the techniques used by the builders were passed down from an even earlier, more advanced civilization, one that has since faded into myth? With no concrete answers to these questions, the churches of Lalibela stand as enigmatic reminders of a time and a people whose genius remains largely unexplained. As visitors walk through these stone corridors, beneath arches carved by hands long gone, they are left to ponder. What knowledge did these builders possess that we have lost to time? And what truths, hidden deep within the rock, are still waiting to be uncovered? Nestled in the rolling hills of southern France, Mount Bugarac rises quietly above the surrounding landscape, its jagged peak and steep slopes standing in stark contrast to the gentle terrain below. To the casual observer, it might seem like any other mountain, its quiet grandeur belying the mysterious stories that swirl around it. Yet, beneath the surface of this natural wonder lies a history so elusive, so shrouded in enigma, that it has captivated the imaginations of locals and researchers alike for centuries. The prehistoric ruins of Mount Bugarac remain one of the most intriguing sights in Europe, their origins buried deep within the folds of time. Scattered across its slopes are remnants of ancient structures, which many believe could be the vestiges of a long-forgotten civilization. Some of these ruins are difficult to date, as they lie in a state of disrepair, worn by centuries of weathering. Others are less visible to the eye, suggesting that whatever civilization once thrived here may have had a unique relationship with the mountain itself. The stones, arranged in seemingly purposeful patterns, offer no easy answers. Were they part of a sacred site? A temple? Or perhaps a lost city, hidden from the world by time and the elements? What is perhaps most striking about Mount Bugarac is the deeply rooted connection between the mountain and the myths that surround it. Local legend speaks of a vast underground network beneath the peak, where ancient treasures and knowledge are said to be concealed. Some stories tell of extraterrestrial visitors who, in ancient times, used the mountain as a portal to other worlds. It is this blend of reality and myth that gives Mount Bugarac its unique aura of mystery. But it's not just folklore that fuels the intrigue. In more recent years, Mount Bugarac has drawn the attention of those searching for signs of something far beyond the human past. It became the focus of the so-called 2012 prophecy, with predictions claiming that the mountain would serve as a sanctuary for survivors of an impending global catastrophe. While the world moved past the year without incident, the allure of the mountain remained. Some believe the peak is a hidden gateway, an ancient doorway to knowledge that remains locked, awaiting a future moment when the world will be ready to unlock its secrets. Perhaps it is the intersection of natural beauty and the whispers of an ancient past that makes Mount Bugarac so captivating. Could this mountain, with its scattered ruins and layers of myth, hold the key to a forgotten chapter of human history? What knowledge was once held here, and why has it been hidden from us? As with many ancient sites, the answers remain elusive, and the mountain stands quietly, as it has for millennia, inviting us to wonder about the truths it still guards beneath its rocky surface. Hidden deep in the foothills of the French Pyrenees, Mount Bugarac stands in quiet defiance against the landscape around it. Its jagged, almost otherworldly peak rises sharply from the earth, an unmistakable sentinel in a land steeped in myth and mystery. For centuries, this enigmatic mountain has captured the imaginations of those who venture near, not only because of its striking appearance, but due to the strange, unexplained ruins scattered across its slopes. These ancient remnants, barely visible yet undeniably purposeful, whisper of an unknown past, a forgotten civilization whose presence here still defies explanation. The ruins themselves are subtle and weathered, making their origin a matter of intense speculation. While some archaeologists believe that these ruins could be linked to the ancient Celtic tribes that once roamed the region, the exact purpose of the site remains unclear. It is the peculiar arrangement of these stone remnants, however, that raises the most questions. Strewn across the mountain's terrain, some appear to form coherent patterns, while others seem to be placed with deliberate intent, though no one can say for sure why. Were these sites sacred temples, astronomical observatories, or perhaps markers of something far more extraordinary, something that transcends the boundaries of time and space as we understand it? But Mount Bugarak is not merely a subject for historical inquiry. The mountain is wrapped in an array of legends, some that stretch back hundreds of years, others that have only emerged in recent decades. Local stories speak of an underground city, a network of tunnels that winds beneath the mountain and houses ancient treasures and knowledge. These rumors were so pervasive that when the year 2012 came around, Mount Bugarak became a focal point for those believing in apocalyptic prophecies. Some even suggested that the mountain would serve as a refuge from the impending global disaster. Though the world moved on, the mountain's mystique remained. The most captivating of the theories surrounding Mount Bugarak is one that suggests it may be a portal, a gateway to other worlds or dimensions. Some believe that the strange energy that radiates from the peak is not of this earth, pointing to inexplicable phenomena, such as altered magnetic fields and reports of strange aerial activity. Could these ruins, hidden away for millennia, be connected to something far beyond our understanding? Were these ancient people aware of knowledge that has since been lost to us, or were they simply the custodians of secrets buried in the earth? As we dig deeper into the stories of Mount Bugarak, we are left with more questions than answers. The mountain stands, silent and elusive, holding its secrets tightly against the passage of time. What lies beneath its surface? What truths remain hidden, waiting to be uncovered? Nestled within the undulating hills of southern England, Avebury stands as one of the most intriguing and mysterious archaeological sites in the world. A sprawling, ancient stone circle, its stones, some weighing several tons, are arranged in a vast open expanse, encircling not only a physical space but perhaps the very fabric of time itself. Unlike Stonehenge, which draws the eye with its isolated grandeur, Avebury is a labyrinth of megalithic mystery, a complex network of stones, ditches, and ancient earthworks that seems to pulse with hidden energy. As you stand at the edge of this site, the sense of something extraordinary is immediate. The stones, weathered by centuries of wind and rain, feel almost alive, their surfaces bearing the marks of a history that stretches back over 4,000 years. It's hard not to wonder, who were the people who built this massive structure? What did they know, and what were they trying to communicate? Though many accept the site as a product of ancient ritualistic and ceremonial purposes, the sheer scale of Avebury raises more questions than it answers. Some experts suggest that Avebury was once a place of astronomical significance, with the arrangement of stones carefully aligned to mark the movements of the sun, moon, and stars. The large circular ditch that surrounds the site may have been designed to amplify the energy of celestial events. But this theory, though widely accepted, does little to explain the complexity of the site as a whole, its precise layout, its connection to other nearby megalithic structures, and its strange ability to evoke a sense of awe that seems to transcend mere human ingenuity. In the fringes of popular thought, however, more unconventional theories abound. Some claim that Avebury, and sites like it, are not just monumental alignments, but part of a global network of energy centers, ancient power grids that spanned the earth. Could the stones have been placed not only for spiritual or ceremonial reasons, but also to harness and focus natural energies? Others suggest that Avebury was a doorway, a kind of liminal space where time itself could be manipulated or crossed. Could this vast stone circle be a form of ancient technology, its true purpose lost to history? As the sun sets over Avebury, the long shadows of the stones stretch across the landscape, and the quiet hum of the earth seems to rise from the ground itself. Here, amidst these silent sentinels, the questions linger. What knowledge did the builders of Avebury possess? What truths lie hidden beneath these stones, waiting to be discovered? And perhaps most pressing of all, what ancient forces might still be at work in the heart of this megalithic labyrinth? Stretching across the windswept fields of Brittany in northwest France, the megalithic site of Karnak is an awe-inspiring yet enigmatic testament to the ancient world. Here, tens of thousands of stones, some towering, some low to the ground, are arranged in long, deliberate lines that stretch out across the landscape. The sheer scale of the site is staggering. Rows upon rows of weathered monoliths, as far as the eye can see, their origins and purpose as mysterious as the land they inhabit. These stones, which date back more than 6,000 years, seem to pulse with an energy that defies simple explanation. Some are aligned with the cardinal directions, while others appear to follow patterns that suggest an advanced understanding of the natural world. Yet, despite centuries of study, the purpose of these stones remains a riddle. Were they created as a form of early astronomy, marking the movements of the stars and planets? Or were they a religious or ceremonial site, used by ancient peoples to commune with the gods? And perhaps most perplexing of all, was this site a place of power, where the very stones themselves were imbued with a kind of mystic energy? Mainstream explanations tend to focus on the site's function as an astronomical observatory or a ritualistic site, with the alignment of the stones possibly marking the solstices and equinoxes. But even these theories don't answer why such a vast and intricate site would be needed, or how such a project could have been accomplished with the limited technology available at the time. This leads us to more speculative theories, where the stones of Karnak take on an even more otherworldly character. Some suggest that the site might have been a portal, a kind of ancient doorway between realms, used for communication with beings from other dimensions. Could these stones, with their precise alignment and massive scale, have been designed to harness and focus Earth energies, creating a conduit for something beyond human understanding? The idea that the stones could act as power points or even resonate with the Earth's magnetic fields is a theory that has gained traction in fringe circles. Others wonder if the stones themselves are not merely markers, but rather a form of ancient technology, a kind of forgotten machine left behind by a civilization long lost to time. As the wind moves through the stones, their outlines casting long shadows across the fields, one can't help but wonder, what secrets do these ancient monoliths hold? What wisdom did the builders possess, and why did they choose to leave their mark in such a powerful and enduring way? The answers, it seems, are buried deep within the stones themselves, waiting for the right moment or the right person to uncover them. What truths lie hidden beneath the surface of Karnak, waiting to be revealed? Hidden deep within the ancient jungles of Cambodia, in the sprawling complex of Angkor, stands an enigmatic structure that many still overlook in the shadow of its more famous neighbors, like Angkor Wat. Yet the Sphinx of Angkor, carved from sandstone, rises from the earth with an aura of mystery that seems to have existed since the dawn of time. Its towering lion-like form, half man, half beast, gazes out toward the horizon, its features softened by centuries of wear. But unlike the Egyptian Sphinx, this monument doesn't quite fit the expected historical narrative. The Sphinx of Angkor, located at the Bayon Temple complex, has been an object of intrigue for archaeologists and explorers alike, who continue to search for answers about its origins and purpose. While the Bayon Temple itself is renowned for its 200 enigmatic smiling faces, the Sphinx presents its own set of questions, standing as a solitary sentinel among the other intricate carvings and towering stone structures. Carved with remarkable precision, its feline form seems to invoke ancient symbolism. In many cultures, the lion was not just a fierce predator, but a guardian, a creature capable of bridging the human and divine worlds. What, then, was the significance of such a powerful figure being placed here, in the heart of Cambodia, so far from the ancient lands of Egypt where similar statues stand guard over the sands? Theories about the Sphinx of Angkor abound, but none are definitive. Mainstream scholars suggest that the monument is simply another example of Khmer artistic and religious expression, possibly symbolizing the strength and authority of the empire's rulers. The lion, after all, is a traditional symbol of royalty in many cultures, including the Khmer. Yet this explanation does little to answer the question of why the Sphinx's likeness seems to resemble not just a local guardian, but an ancient icon from another civilization entirely. Was it inspired by distant trade routes, or could there be a deeper, more interwoven connection between the cultures of the ancient world that is yet to be discovered? Some fringe theories venture further into the unknown, suggesting that the Sphinx of Angkor might not simply be a symbolic figure, but an artifact of an even older, pre-Khmer civilization, lost to time and history. Could this Sphinx, with its unusual features and placement, be evidence of an ancient global network of knowledge linking the Khmer Empire with the Egyptians or even earlier, forgotten civilizations? Some even ask, was this stone figure a marker, an indicator of a sacred location, a cosmic alignment, or perhaps even a forgotten power that once resided in the jungles of Cambodia? As the wind stirs the ancient stone, one can't help but wonder what secrets still lie buried beneath the roots and the moss that cling to the monument. What truths could still be waiting to emerge from the dense jungle hidden in plain sight? Deep in the heart of Cambodia, hidden beneath centuries of jungle overgrowth and the weight of time, lie the lost temples of Angkor Wat, a sacred complex that continues to stir the imagination of historians, archaeologists, and those drawn to the mysteries of ancient knowledge. Angkor Wat itself, the world's largest religious monument, is a marvel of architectural design and celestial alignment, yet the temples that surround it, often forgotten or overlooked, tell a different story. Could they be the key to unlocking an even deeper mystery about the ancient Khmer Empire, or something more beyond human understanding? The scale of Angkor Wat is staggering. Its vast sandstone walls rise from the forest floor, intricately adorned with scenes from Hindu mythology. But it is the hidden, lesser-known temples, buried within the jungles of Cambodia, that compel us to ask, how did the builders of Angkor Wat acquire such advanced knowledge? How did they construct such monuments without the technological advancements we assume were needed? While the conventional explanation credits the Khmer Empire's ingenuity and their labor force, some theories suggest that the knowledge to design and build these vast temples might have come from sources far beyond the empire's own borders. Could the ancient people of Angkor Wat have had contact with civilizations much older than theirs? Civilizations that possessed knowledge of astronomy, geometry, and even advanced engineering? The lost temples scattered throughout the Angkor region showcase remarkably advanced architectural features, things like precise astronomical alignments, complex hydraulic systems, and carvings of gods that seem to transcend the cultural norms of the region. These temples also share striking similarities to other ancient sites around the world, such as those found in Egypt and South America. The questions arise. Is this evidence of a shared ancient knowledge, or is there something more at play? Some have speculated that the extraordinary precision and architectural ingenuity seen in these ruins may point to an external influence, potentially from extraterrestrial sources. The temples, with their alignment to the stars, their advanced hydraulic systems, and their sheer scale, seem to defy the capabilities of a civilization that, according to conventional history, did not have the tools we associate with such feats. Was there a deeper, perhaps otherworldly intelligence guiding these builders, beings whose knowledge passed down through the ages, perhaps forgotten in the annals of history? Others propose that the lost temples may represent a repository of ancient wisdom, a center of learning that possessed secrets of the cosmos, encoded within the design of the temples themselves. The elaborate bas-reliefs, astronomical markers, and celestial alignments could all be part of a larger, esoteric framework that once united the earthly with the divine. As we peer into the silent ruins of Angkor, the whispers of the jungle seem to carry with them the possibility of secrets that may forever remain just beyond our reach. What hidden knowledge do these ancient stones guard? And what truths might still be waiting to surface, buried in the shadows of these lost temples, now forgotten by time but not by those who continue to search? As we journey deeper into the enigma of the ancient world, we turn our focus to a place that continues to defy explanation, a place where the very stones seem to speak of lost civilizations and forgotten knowledge. The mysterious ruins of Nan Madol. Nestled in the heart of the Pacific, on the small island of Pohnpei, Nan Madol is a sprawling complex of stone structures, unlike anything seen elsewhere in the world. Its name, which means spaces between, is fitting, as the site consists of nearly 100 man-made islets connected by a network of canals. This city, an architectural marvel, yet a riddle, was once the political and ceremonial center of the Sodelur dynasty, thriving around the 8th century AD. The ruins themselves are awe-inspiring, towering basalt walls, some reaching 25 feet in height, made of stones so massive that even modern machinery would struggle to move them. Many of these blocks, weighing several tons, are not local to the island, but were transported from distant quarries. How did the Sodelur people, with no known wheel or advanced tools, manage to shape and transport these colossal stones? And why create such a complex, labor-intensive structure in the first place? Scholars have long debated these questions. The most widely accepted explanation is that Nan Madol was a ceremonial and administrative center, perhaps used to consolidate power and control over the surrounding regions. Yet, the site's purpose remains elusive. There are no definitive records from the Sodelur themselves, and the few accounts that survive are largely oral traditions passed down through generations. The lack of written history leaves many questions unanswered. How was this island metropolis constructed, and for what purpose? Beyond the accepted theories, there are those who have looked at Nan Madol through a more speculative lens. Some suggest that the site may not have been built by human hands at all. They point to the precision of the stonework, the unusual alignment of the structures, and the fact that the islands themselves seem to be almost purposefully integrated with the natural landscape, as if designed with an otherworldly knowledge. Could it be that Nan Madol was influenced by a lost civilization with advanced technology? Perhaps even visitors from the stars? Another theory, more grounded in local legend, speaks of an ancient race of beings known as the Men of Stone, who were said to possess supernatural abilities. Did these beings, who some claim once ruled the island, impart their advanced knowledge to the people of Pohnpei? With each theory, the mysteries only deepen. Despite years of research, no conclusive answers have emerged to explain the how and why of Nan Madol. And so, as we stand before its towering basalt walls, we are left with a single persistent question. What secrets still lie hidden within these ancient ruins, waiting to be uncovered? As we leave behind the Pacific Islands, we find ourselves drawn to another towering enigma, this time on the mainland of Mexico, where the echoes of an ancient civilization seem to rise from the earth itself. The Great Pyramid of Cholula, the largest pyramid by volume in the world, stands as a silent testament to the ingenuity and ambition of a long-forgotten people. Unlike the sharp, defined lines of Egypt's pyramids, Cholula's form is softer, more gradual, a colossal mound that rises gently from the surrounding plains, its surface dotted with trees and the remnants of structures built by later civilizations. At first glance, it might appear as nothing more than an overgrown hill, but beneath the surface lies a monumental feat of engineering, one that even modern scientists struggle to fully comprehend. The pyramid was originally constructed by the Toltecs, then expanded upon by later cultures over the course of centuries. Today, its base covers an astounding 45 acres, far surpassing even the Great Pyramids of Giza. Built primarily from adobe, its complex design incorporates multiple layers, each built upon the other, creating a sprawling structure that seems to reach toward the sky in quiet defiance of time. What is most striking, however, is the pyramid's history, or rather, the mystery surrounding it. For centuries, Cholula was a thriving center of power, an important religious and political hub for the ancient civilizations of Mesoamerica. But even though it was revered by its builders, the purpose of this vast monument remains unclear. Some argue that it was a temple dedicated to Quetzalcoatl, the feathered serpent god. But other theories suggest that it could have been a symbol of divine power, a tool for uniting the disparate peoples of the region under a single spiritual banner. Yet, the most puzzling aspect of the pyramid is its sheer scale. Why would a civilization of this era invest such enormous resources into building a structure that appears, on the surface, to serve no immediate practical purpose? Was it a center for astronomical observation, as some suggest, or perhaps a massive ceremonial complex where rituals were performed to ensure the fertility of the land? Or is it possible that there is a more hidden, perhaps forgotten, reason for its construction, something that modern archaeology has yet to uncover? As with many ancient structures, the fringe theories that surround the Great Pyramid of Cholula offer tantalizing possibilities. Could the pyramid have been built using lost technologies, perhaps even extraterrestrial assistance? Some believe that the precision with which the pyramid was constructed, combined with the sheer scale, points to knowledge beyond that of the ancient peoples of the region. Others suggest that Cholula might have been a site of ancient, forgotten knowledge, a repository of wisdom passed down by a lost civilization long before the Toltecs arrived. The mystery of the Great Pyramid of Cholula, like so many other ancient wonders, persists. Beneath its earthen layers lie secrets that have yet to be fully unearthed, and as we gaze upon its massive form, we cannot help but wonder what truths lie hidden in the shadow of this colossal monument. As we move from the towering pyramid of Cholula, we now find ourselves high in the Andean mountains, above the clouds, standing before one of the most iconic and enigmatic ruins in the world, Machu Picchu. Nestled amidst a series of jagged peaks, this ancient Inca city has captivated explorers, archaeologists, and historians for centuries. But despite decades of study, the true purpose of Machu Picchu remains one of the most enduring mysteries of the pre-Columbian world. Machu Picchu, which translates to Old Peak, is a marvel of Inca engineering and construction. Its stone terraces, intricate temples, and vast plazas are seamlessly integrated into the steep, rugged landscape that surrounds it. The precision with which the stones were cut and fitted together, without mortar or modern tools, is awe-inspiring. Some of the blocks, weighing several tons, are so perfectly aligned that even a knife blade cannot slip between them. How did the Inca people, with limited technology, achieve such an extraordinary level of craftsmanship? The purpose of this awe-inspiring site, however, remains unclear. While Machu Picchu is often referred to as a royal estate or a ceremonial center for the Inca Emperor Pachacuti, no definitive evidence supports this theory. The absence of written records from the Inca civilization means that much of the history surrounding Machu Picchu has been lost to time, though some scholars believe it may have served as an agricultural hub or an astronomical observatory. These explanations still fail to provide a comprehensive answer to the site's true function. Even more perplexing is the question of its construction. Machu Picchu sits at an altitude of over 7,000 feet, requiring immense effort to transport materials up the steep, rocky slopes. The Inca were known for their remarkable road systems, but was such a feat of construction, on this isolated mountaintop, truly achievable with the tools and methods available to them? What inspired such a monumental undertaking in a location so remote, and why was it abandoned so suddenly in the 16th century, just before the arrival of the Spanish conquistadors? As we move beyond the conventional theories, we encounter more speculative ideas. Some suggest that the Incas' advanced knowledge of engineering and astronomy could have come from a source beyond their own civilization. Could Machu Picchu be the product of a forgotten, even older culture, one that passed down its wisdom to the Inca? Others, with a more fringe perspective, propose that the site was not only a center for earthly rituals, but possibly a point of contact with extraterrestrial beings. After all, the precision with which the stones were cut and the alignment of some of the structures with celestial events raises intriguing questions. What remains undeniable, however, is the aura of mystery that surrounds Machu Picchu. It is a place that seems to transcend time, its stones speaking of a long-gone civilization whose secrets have been buried beneath centuries of mist and history. Even as we uncover more details about its construction and function, we are left with an undeniable sense of wonder. What truths lie hidden in the shadows of this ancient city, waiting to be uncovered? As we leave behind the ethereal heights of Machu Picchu and descend into the heart of ancient Mesoamerica, we find ourselves standing before another monumental mystery, the ancient city of Teotihuacan. Known as the City of the Gods, this sprawling urban center lies just outside modern-day Mexico City, yet its origins remain shrouded in the deepest obscurity. The question lingers: who built this magnificent city, and what drove its construction? Teotihuacan is an architectural wonder, famous for its awe-inspiring pyramids, the Pyramid of the Sun and the Pyramid of the Moon, two of the largest and most impressive structures of the ancient world. These massive stone monuments, with their sheer scale and precision, seem to touch the heavens themselves. The Pyramid of the Sun, for example, stands 216 feet tall, while its base covers an area larger than that of the Great Pyramid of Giza. The symmetry of these structures, coupled with their precise alignment to celestial events, speaks to a sophisticated understanding of astronomy and engineering. But who were the people capable of such achievements? The city itself once thrived, housing an estimated population of over 100,000 people at its height, making it one of the largest urban centers in the ancient world. Yet, despite its grandeur, the identity of the builders remains elusive. There is no definitive record of the civilization that created Teotihuacan. No known language, no written texts, no known rulers to trace its origins to. All that remains are the ruins, the mysterious pyramids, and a host of unanswered questions. The accepted theory is that Teotihuacan was a religious, ceremonial, and political center for the people who lived there, perhaps an amalgamation of various indigenous groups united by a common belief system. The layout of the city, its grand avenues, like the Avenue of the Dead, and its alignment with the cardinal directions, suggests a highly planned, purpose-driven society. But why did such an advanced city appear so suddenly, and why did it fall into decline just as mysteriously? More questions arise when we consider the construction techniques employed at Teotihuacan. The precision of the stonework and the sheer size of the pyramids raise doubts about the traditional methods assumed to be available to the builders. How did they transport these massive stones, some weighing several tons, across the rugged terrain of the region? The lack of obvious quarries nearby only deepens the mystery. Was the construction process aided by knowledge or technologies lost to time, or were there methods employed here that we have yet to fully understand? Beyond the practical, there is a more speculative side to Teotihuacan's enigma. Some researchers have pointed to the alignment of the pyramids with astronomical events, especially the solstices and equinoxes, as evidence that the city had an even deeper, perhaps spiritual, purpose. Could it have been a place of ritualistic significance, where the rulers or priests used the celestial positions to guide their decisions? And then there are those who suggest that Teotihuacan's precise alignment and monumental scale point to the influence of an even older, unknown civilization, one whose wisdom was passed down to the inhabitants of Teotihuacan. There are also fringe theories that propose more unconventional explanations. Some speculate that the pyramids might have been energy generators, harnessing unseen forces from the earth or the cosmos. Others suggest that Teotihuacan may have served as a point of contact between ancient civilizations and extraterrestrial beings who shared their advanced knowledge with the people of the city. While these ideas remain on the outskirts of mainstream thought, they serve as a reminder of how much there is still to uncover about this lost civilization. As we look across the ruins of Teotihuacan, with its towering pyramids looming over the valley, we cannot help but feel the weight of its mystery. What secrets lie buried beneath the stones? What knowledge was lost when the city fell silent? Teotihuacan remains in many ways a puzzle, one whose pieces may never quite fit together, but whose echoes will continue to call out, urging us to search for answers. As we move from the watery depths of Yonaguni and the mythic allure of Atlantis, we now find ourselves drawn to the verdant hills of Bosnia, where another mysterious set of structures has emerged, one that challenges everything we thought we knew about ancient civilizations. Deep in the heart of the Bosnian countryside lies a collection of pyramidal formations, nestled within the landscape as though they had been there for millennia. These pyramids, known as the Pyramids of Bosnia, are shrouded in controversy and speculation, but their existence has sparked a debate that refuses to subside. The site in question, located near the town of Visoko, consists of several large mounds, with the most prominent being the so-called Pyramid of the Sun. The structure is a massive triangular formation, rising more than 700 feet above the surrounding valley. To the casual observer, it may appear simply as a natural hill, shaped by centuries of erosion. But to those who advocate for the idea that these are ancient man-made pyramids, the sharp lines and distinct angles suggest something far more deliberate. The mounds, they claim, are not the result of geological forces, but rather the remnants of a lost civilization, one that once possessed advanced engineering techniques and knowledge. The controversy surrounding the Bosnian pyramids began in 2005 when Samir Osmanagic, a Bosnian-American businessman and amateur archaeologist, brought attention to the site. Osmanagic, convinced that the formations were ancient pyramids, spearheaded excavations in Visoko. His team uncovered what they claimed were perfectly squared-off stones, which some believed were part of a once grand structure. The discovery of tunnels and the revelation of what appeared to be artificially placed stone blocks only deepened the mystery. Yet, despite the excitement and the influx of tourists, many in the scientific community remain highly skeptical of Osmanagic's claims. Mainstream archaeologists argue that the formations are nothing more than natural hills, shaped by erosion and geological processes over thousands of years. The stone blocks, they contend, are likely nothing more than debris from other constructions, and the tunnels may be the result of more recent human activity, not ancient builders. To date, no definitive evidence has emerged to prove that these structures are anything but natural. However, for those who remain open to alternative theories, the pyramids of Bosnia are far more than just an anomaly. Some believe that if these pyramids are indeed man-made, they could represent the remnants of a civilization far older than any we currently recognize. A civilization that might have flourished during a period now lost to history, long before the rise of the Egyptians or the Mesoamerican cultures. The controversy surrounding the Bosnian pyramids has only grown with the years, drawing in a wide range of theories. Some claim that the pyramids were not just monuments, but powerful energy generators, capable of harnessing natural forces in ways that modern science has yet to understand. Others suggest that these structures could have been a repository of ancient knowledge designed to preserve and protect information that might have been lost during a great cataclysm, perhaps even one connected to the global flood myths found in cultures around the world. With ongoing excavation work and studies, the mystery of the pyramids of Bosnia continues to unfold. But the question remains: could these mountains, which stand silently in the Bosnian landscape, be the remnants of a forgotten civilization, one that once reached the heights of architectural and engineering achievement? Or is the truth far simpler, with the formations merely the work of nature, misunderstood and misinterpreted by those eager to uncover the past? In the end, the pyramids of Bosnia invite us to reflect on the limits of our knowledge and understanding. What, if anything, might still lie hidden beneath the earth, waiting for the right moment or the right mind to uncover its secrets? The mystery remains, as always, open to interpretation. From the rolling hills of Bosnia, we journey now to the sun-scorched sands of Egypt, where one of the world's most iconic and enigmatic monuments stands, silent yet full of untold secrets. The Great Sphinx of Giza, with its imposing half-human, half-lion form, gazes eternally toward the east. Carved from the bedrock of the Giza Plateau, its face, weathered and eroded by time, gazes out over the ancient pyramids. But beneath this grand stone figure lies a mystery that continues to puzzle scholars, archaeologists, and explorers alike. The Sphinx, often associated with the reign of Pharaoh Khafra, circa 2500 BCE, is traditionally seen as a symbol of royal power and divine protection, guarding the Giza complex. Standing 66 feet high and stretching 240 feet long, the sheer scale of the monument demands attention. Its imposing presence and distinct features have captivated imaginations for centuries, yet there is so much we still do not understand about it. What is it about the Sphinx that has left so many questions unanswered? For one, the dating of the Sphinx remains contentious. While mainstream Egyptology attributes its construction to Khafra, some researchers believe that the Sphinx may be far older than the accepted timeline, perhaps even dating back to the dawn of civilization itself. This theory arises from the erosion patterns seen on the Sphinx's body. Many experts have noted that the wear on the monument appears to be the result of water erosion, not wind and sand, which would suggest that the Sphinx was carved during a much wetter pre-dynastic period, perhaps as far back as 10,000 to 12,000 years ago, long before the rise of Egypt's pharaonic dynasties. If the Sphinx is indeed much older than previously thought, what does that mean for our understanding of ancient history? Could this monumental figure be a relic of a forgotten civilization, lost to time, whose achievements predate the Egyptians? This raises a tantalizing possibility that the Sphinx is not merely a product of the Old Kingdom, but a remnant of an even earlier culture, one that may have passed down knowledge that the Egyptians later inherited and adapted. But the mystery of the Sphinx goes beyond its age. Beneath its massive paws lies a subterranean chamber, long known but rarely explored. Over the years, there have been numerous reports of sealed rooms and hidden passages, some of which have been partially uncovered in recent excavations. What lies within these chambers? Some claim that the Sphinx could be guarding sacred knowledge, perhaps the secrets of an ancient civilization lost to history or hidden texts that could rewrite our understanding of the past. Could these hidden spaces hold clues to the origins of the Sphinx itself, or even the lost wisdom of an older world? There are also more speculative theories that tie the Sphinx to the heavens. Some suggest that the alignment of the Sphinx, like the pyramids, is tied to celestial events, perhaps even acting as a marker for astrological phenomena. Is the Sphinx a guide to the stars, a message from ancient people who were more attuned to the cosmos than we are today? For those looking even further into the realm of fringe theories, some posit that the Sphinx may not be a human creation at all, but an artifact left behind by an advanced, non-human civilization. Could the Sphinx be a relic from a time when other beings, perhaps from the stars or another era, shaped the Earth's monuments? As we stand before this ancient guardian, we are reminded of the mysteries that lie just beneath the surface, hidden in the sands of time. Whether it was built by the hands of pharaohs or by a lost civilization, the Sphinx remains an enigma, one that invites us to question the limits of our knowledge. What other secrets might be buried deep beneath the Giza Plateau, waiting to be uncovered? And what ancient truths might we still be missing? As we leave behind the enigmatic gaze of the Sphinx, we now turn to another monumental site that stirs the imagination and leaves questions lingering in the air. Far to the west, in the rugged hills of Greece, lies the ancient city of Mycenae, a place of myth, legend, and extraordinary architecture. Here, amidst the olive groves and crumbling stone, stand the Cyclopean walls, so named for their sheer scale and the legend that only giants or cyclopes could have built them. These walls, massive and imposing, form the boundary of a civilization that once held sway over the Aegean world. The Mycenaean walls, constructed around 1400 BCE, are some of the most remarkable examples of ancient stonework. The stones themselves are enormous, often weighing several tons, and they fit together with such precision that even modern builders would struggle to replicate the technique. These walls are composed of massive blocks of limestone, shaped with such care that there is barely a gap between them. The term Cyclopean was coined in ancient times because the Greeks believed that only the mythical Cyclopes, with their immense strength, could have lifted and placed such colossal stones. What makes these walls so intriguing is not just their size, but the mystery surrounding their construction. How did a Bronze Age civilization, without the advanced tools and technology that we might expect, manage to move and shape these giant stones? The Mycenaeans, despite their remarkable achievements in pottery, metallurgy, and military prowess, left no written record explaining how their great walls were built. No evidence has been found to suggest the use of ramps, cranes, or any of the machinery that we might associate with large-scale construction. The blocks seem to have been set in place with almost supernatural precision, a feat that continues to defy conventional understanding. Mainstream archaeologists have long suggested that the Mycenaeans, much like other ancient cultures, used basic but effective methods, such as levers, rollers, and simple ramps, to transport and position the massive stones. Yet, even with these techniques, the sheer scale and intricacy of the construction raises questions. How could they have moved such enormous stones over long distances, often across rough, mountainous terrain? And why do some of these walls appear to be older than even the city of Mycenae itself? Some of the stones, the largest and most perfectly shaped, seem to belong to an earlier period, suggesting that the city might have been built atop or around the ruins of an even more ancient structure, one perhaps far more advanced than the Mycenaeans themselves. This leads us to consider more speculative theories. Could the Mycenaean walls have been part of an older, lost civilization, one that predates the known history of Greece? Some researchers suggest that the Cyclopean walls might be the remnants of a civilization that possessed lost technologies or knowledge that was lost over time. In fact, there are those who believe that the walls were built by a much more ancient people, possibly survivors of a cataclysmic event, who passed down their knowledge to the Mycenaeans. Was the construction of these walls a forgotten skill, one handed down through generations, perhaps originating from a pre-flood civilization? Others propose that the Mycenaeans were not alone in their monumental achievements, and that they might have had help from outside, possibly from an advanced culture that had knowledge of building techniques long since lost to time. Could these walls be more than just the remnants of an ancient kingdom's fortifications? Some fringe theories even suggest that the walls of Mycenae could be the work of beings not of this earth, whose knowledge of stonecraft and construction went far beyond the capabilities of the people of that era. Standing before the Cyclopean walls of Mycenae, one cannot help but wonder about the secrets that remain hidden in the stones, buried beneath centuries of history. Was it really human ingenuity that built these walls? Or is there more to the story? A lost history, a forgotten people, or even a forgotten science, waiting to be rediscovered? The answer may never fully be known, but the mystery of Mycenae endures, leaving us to wonder how much more is hidden just beneath the surface, waiting to be unearthed. As we leave behind the ancient temples of Gozo, we find ourselves once again drawn to the sands of Egypt, where the most iconic and enduring monuments of the ancient world rise from the desert. The Pyramids of Giza, 3 colossal stone structures, seemingly built for eternity, loom over the plains like silent sentinels, guardians of a civilization that flourished thousands of years ago. Towering above all others, the Great Pyramid of Khufu stands as a testament to the ingenuity of ancient Egyptian architects. It reaches an astounding 481 feet, its sides perfectly aligned with the cardinal points of the compass. But despite their awe-inspiring size and historical significance, these pyramids continue to hold mysteries that challenge even the most well-established theories of ancient engineering. The Pyramids of Giza are often thought to be the final resting places of pharaohs, vast tombs designed to ensure their passage to the afterlife. But while the burial chambers inside the pyramids have been explored and their contents cataloged, there is something inherently puzzling about these structures. For one, the precision with which the pyramids were constructed is unparalleled. The blocks of limestone and granite, some weighing several tons, fit so closely together that even a piece of paper cannot slide between them. How did the Egyptians, with the tools and technology available to them at the time, manage such precision? And more mysteriously, how did they transport these massive stones from distant quarries to the pyramid sites, especially when many of the stones used in construction would have been brought from quarries located miles away? Mainstream scholars suggest that the pyramids were built using ramps and rudimentary tools, a theory that holds weight given the available evidence of large ramp systems discovered at other archaeological sites in Egypt. Yet, some questions remain unresolved. For example, how could such immense labor be organized? And how did the workers, who would have needed to move thousands of stones each day, manage to construct such precise and stable structures without the advanced machinery we have today? Beyond these technical challenges lies another profound mystery: the purpose of the pyramids themselves. While the accepted theory is that the pyramids were intended as royal tombs, many experts have suggested that they may have had another, more symbolic purpose, one tied to the cosmos. The alignment of the pyramids with the stars, particularly the 3 stars of Orion's belt, has long been noted. The ancient Egyptians associated the god Osiris with the constellation of Orion, and the pyramid's alignment with these stars may have been intended to facilitate the pharaoh's journey into the afterlife, connecting him with the divine. But there are other theories that venture further into the speculative realm. Could the pyramids have been designed as more than just tombs or religious symbols? Some fringe theorists propose that the pyramids could have had a functional purpose beyond burial, perhaps acting as a kind of energy generator. The precise positioning of the pyramids, along with the materials used in their construction, might suggest they were designed to harness the natural forces of the earth, or even the energy of the cosmos. Could the pyramids have been an ancient form of technology, a mechanism to channel unseen forces, whether electromagnetic or cosmic, that we do not yet fully understand. In recent years, the idea that the pyramids may be far older than conventional dating suggests has gained traction. Some researchers point to evidence of water erosion found at the base of the Sphinx, located near the pyramids, as a possible indicator that the Giza Plateau could have been constructed by an even older civilization, predating the Egyptians by thousands of years. What then if the Egyptians were not the original builders of the pyramids, but rather inheritors of an already existing structure? What if the pyramids were not only tombs for pharaohs, but remnants of a forgotten age, passed down through millennia by a lost civilization whose true knowledge was buried beneath the sands? Standing before the great pyramids of Giza, one cannot help but feel the weight of their mystery. The questions of how and why they were built are only the beginning. As the wind whispers across the desert and the stars twinkle overhead, we are left to wonder, are these magnificent structures truly what we think they are? Or is there more to the story than we have been told? What might still be hidden, buried deep within their ancient stone walls, waiting to be discovered? From the isolated shores of Easter Island, we now turn our gaze toward the highlands of Peru, where another monumental structure stands, enigmatic and captivating. The ancient site of Sacsayhuaman, located just outside the city of Cusco, has long been a subject of fascination for historians, archaeologists, and anyone intrigued by the mysteries of pre-Columbian civilizations. This vast complex of megalithic walls, constructed by the Incas, or so tradition suggests, remains one of the most impressive feats of stonework ever achieved, and yet its true origins and methods of construction remain shrouded in mystery. At first glance, the sheer scale of Sacsayhuaman is enough to leave one in awe. The walls consist of massive stones, some weighing upwards of 100 tons, seamlessly interlocked with such precision that no mortar was necessary. The stones fit so tightly that not even a piece of paper can slip between them. The overall shape of the site is that of an enormous terrace, with massive angled walls that seem to reach skyward, bending and twisting in unexpected directions. There are no signs of the tools that might have been used to carve or move these enormous blocks, and no written records left behind to explain the methods by which they were transported and arranged. Most scholars attribute the construction of Sacsayhuaman to the Incas, who ruled the region from the 15th century until the Spanish conquest. The Incas were known for their advanced architectural techniques, including their ability to fit stones together with astonishing precision. Yet, the massive stones at Sacsayhuaman suggest a level of craftsmanship that surpasses even what is known about Incan stonework. The walls are not simple straight lines. They curve and meander, almost as if they were designed with an understanding of forces, whether natural, architectural, or even something more esoteric, that we still cannot fully grasp. How then did the Incas, with their relatively limited tools and technology, manage to achieve such an extraordinary feat? The mainstream explanation suggests that the stones were shaped using rudimentary tools made of copper and stone, then transported to the site using ramps, ropes, and sheer manpower. But these explanations, while plausible, do little to address the exceptional level of precision displayed in the wall's construction. How could the Incas, or any civilization, manage to move stones of such size across rough terrain without advanced machinery or technology? And why is it that the stones fit together so perfectly, without any visible means of holding them in place? Is it possible that the Incas inherited knowledge from a lost civilization, one that possessed techniques we have long forgotten? Some fringe theories suggest that the stones of Sacsayhuaman could have been carved using advanced technologies, possibly lost to time, such as sound or vibrational tools that could manipulate the stone with greater precision than traditional methods. Could these methods have been passed down from a previous civilization that existed before the Incas? Could Sacsayhuaman be the work of an ancient culture, possibly predating the Incas by thousands of years, that possessed knowledge of materials and techniques beyond our current understanding? These are questions that have been posed by those who study the site, and they are questions that persist in the face of conventional theories. There is also the question of the purpose of Sacsayhuaman. While some believe the site served as a ceremonial center, others propose that it may have had a more practical role. Was it a military stronghold, a place of astronomical observation? Or perhaps it was something more enigmatic, an ancient repository of knowledge, a place where the forces of nature and the cosmos were aligned and understood in ways we have yet to discover? As we stand before the walls of Sacsayhuaman, we are reminded of how little we truly know about the ancient peoples who built it. The mystery of the site deepens with every passing year as new discoveries and interpretations continue to emerge. The stones that make up the walls, each one a testament to a lost art, seem to speak to us from an era long gone. Yet, their silence only serves to amplify the questions that surround them. What secrets lie hidden within these stones? And what might we still uncover? Should we look deeper beneath the surface? The answers, if they exist at all, may still lie buried in the land of the Incas, waiting for the moment when they can finally be revealed. From the enigmatic ruins of Göbekli Tepe, we now travel to the heart of ancient Mesopotamia, where another monumental structure beckons us to explore its mysteries. In the arid plains of southern Iraq, near the modern city of Nasiriyah, stands the Great Ziggurat of Ur, a towering testament to the ingenuity of the Sumerians, built around 4,000 years ago during the Third Dynasty of Ur. Rising from the earth in stepped tiers, the ziggurat was once a colossal temple complex, its purpose and significance still a subject of scholarly debate. The ziggurat of Ur was dedicated to the moon god Nana, and its massive terraced structure was designed to bring the worshippers closer to the heavens. The ziggurat stood at an imposing 30 meters tall, and though much of the structure has eroded over the millennia, the surviving base still gives us a glimpse into the grandeur it once commanded. Made from mud bricks and reinforced with burnt brick on the lower layers, it was an architectural feat of its time, built with such precision that even today, its sheer scale and complexity are staggering. The ziggurat was not merely a place of worship. It was a symbol of divine power, meant to bridge the earthly realm with that of the gods. It is believed that priests and kings ascended the temple's monumental steps to conduct rituals, while the people below looked on in awe. The very design of the structure suggests that it was meant to draw the eye upward, to create a sense of ascension as worshippers moved ever higher, closer to the heavens. But what drove the Sumerians to build such a towering monument? And why did they dedicate it to a god of the moon, a celestial body with a mystery of its own? The mainstream explanation is that ziggurats were religious structures designed to honor the gods of the Mesopotamian pantheon, part of a broader trend in ancient civilizations to build monumental architecture for spiritual purposes. But the more one reflects on the purpose of the Great Ziggurat of Ur, the more questions arise. Could it have been more than just a temple, a symbol of power and devotion? Was it a center of astronomical observation, a tool for understanding the heavens, or perhaps a structure with knowledge that has since been lost to time? Some theorists suggest that these ancient towers were not only spiritual, but also functional, perhaps serving as observatories or even sites for celestial navigation. Could the Sumerians have understood something about the moon's cycles? Something far beyond the understanding of their contemporaries? And if so, where did this knowledge come from? Did the ancient builders possess forgotten technologies, tools, or insights that allowed them to construct such a colossal and precise structure? As we look upon the remains of the Great Ziggurat, the questions linger in the air, much like the ancient whispers of a lost civilization. What more might we uncover about the true purpose of this towering monument, and what secrets might still lie buried beneath its layers of earth and time? The answers, it seems, are still waiting to be discovered, hidden just beyond the veil of history, waiting for a moment when we are ready to understand them. After exploring the towering remnants of ancient structures that rise from the dust of history, we now turn our attention to a more elusive enigma, one that lies beneath the surface of the sea in a region notorious for its mysteries and unexplained phenomena. The Bermuda Triangle, an area spanning between Miami, Bermuda, and Puerto Rico, has long been a subject of fascination, particularly due to the disappearances of ships, planes, and people. But beneath the waves of this treacherous stretch of ocean, there are whispers of even deeper secrets, an ancient network of megastructures lost to time, submerged beneath the waves. In 1969, while conducting sonar scans in the area, a team of researchers discovered what appeared to be the remnants of massive stone structures sitting nearly 2,000 feet beneath the surface. These formations, reminiscent of giant pyramids, columns, and terraces, sent shockwaves through the scientific community. Some suggested that these underwater anomalies were simply natural formations, like underwater mountains or rock formations shaped by millions of years of erosion. But others, particularly those who delved into the mysteries of lost civilizations, began to wonder, could these be the remains of an ancient, forgotten civilization? A civilization so advanced that it could have built structures on the ocean floor long before recorded history. The structures beneath the Bermuda Triangle are still shrouded in mystery. Some have speculated that they might be the remnants of Atlantis, the legendary sunken civilization described by the ancient Greek philosopher Plato. Others suggest that these ruins could belong to a much older civilization, one that existed long before the rise of the Sumerians or Egyptians, perhaps a culture with knowledge and technologies lost to time. Was this civilization aware of the ocean's vast depths, able to build at such extraordinary depths with materials that have since been lost to the ages? As we venture further into this mystery, we must also confront the strange and unexplained phenomena that surround the Bermuda Triangle: planes and ships that vanish without a trace, magnetic anomalies that seem to disrupt compasses and navigation systems. Could these mysterious disappearances be tied to the ancient megastructures buried beneath the sea? Are these submerged ruins somehow affecting the very fabric of reality in the region, causing disturbances in the electromagnetic fields or creating hidden forces that disrupt the natural world? While mainstream scientists remain cautious, proposing more conventional explanations like undersea currents or natural geological phenomena, the allure of a hidden, lost world beneath the waves remains irresistible. What if these structures and the strange events around them are tied to a secret history of Earth, one that predates the earliest known civilizations? What truths might lie in the depths of the Bermuda Triangle, waiting for us to uncover them? The answer, like so many mysteries of the past, remains just out of reach. From the ancient city carved into the heart of the desert to the submerged ruins of forgotten civilizations, we now journey to the windswept plains of southern England, where another enigma stands, silent, enduring, and as puzzling as ever. Stonehenge, a name that has become synonymous with mystery, is one of the most iconic prehistoric sites in the world. Its giant stones, arranged in a perfect circle, rise against the backdrop of the rolling countryside, casting long shadows at dawn and dusk, their purpose and meaning still debated after thousands of years. The stones themselves are an extraordinary feat of engineering. The structure is made up of two types of stones: the larger sarsens, which weigh up to 40 tons, and the smaller bluestones, some of which were transported from the Preseli Mountains in Wales, over 150 miles away. This, in itself, is a remarkable achievement. How, with the limited technology of the Neolithic period, could these massive stones have been moved such great distances and assembled in this intricate formation? What was the purpose of such an immense effort? Stonehenge has long been seen as a place of ritual and ceremony, perhaps serving as a temple or observatory. The alignments of the stones suggest a deep understanding of astronomy, with the solstices marking specific points in the stone circle. Some researchers believe it was used to track the movements of the sun and moon, a kind of calendar for agricultural purposes. Others speculate that it was a sacred space for healing or even a burial ground, with numerous human remains discovered in the area, suggesting that the site had spiritual significance long before the stones were placed. Yet despite centuries of research, the true purpose of Stonehenge remains elusive. Could it be more than just an ancient observatory or temple? Some theories suggest that the site was not merely a tool for ancient rituals, but that it might have served a far grander purpose, perhaps even a lost form of energy or communication. Was Stonehenge a site where ancient people tapped into forces beyond our understanding, or a focal point for knowledge passed down through secretive or forgotten channels? As we peer deeper into the mystery of Stonehenge, we find ourselves asking, what if this site was built by a civilization whose knowledge and understanding of the world was far more advanced than we currently believe? What if its purpose extends beyond our earthly comprehension, touching on elements of the cosmos or even dimensions yet undiscovered? For now, Stonehenge stands, an enduring puzzle, its mysteries embedded in the ancient stones, waiting to be uncovered, or perhaps waiting for us to ask the right questions. What truths are still hidden beneath these towering monoliths? And what might they reveal about our past or our future if we can only understand their purpose? As we leave behind the cryptic symbols of the Nazca Desert, our path leads us further east, to a place where the earth itself seems to carry the weight of forgotten gods. Baalbek, in modern-day Lebanon, is a site of immense grandeur and mystery, home to some of the largest and most impressive stone structures ever created by human hands. Known in antiquity as Heliopolis, this ancient city was once a center of worship and power, its towering temples dedicated to gods like Jupiter and Bacchus. But beneath the awe-inspiring columns and crumbling ruins lies a deeper, unanswered question. How? The most striking feature of Baalbek is its great temple of Jupiter, an ancient wonder whose foundation stones weigh up to 800 tons, each a monolithic behemoth that dwarfs the construction techniques known to have been used in the classical world. These stones, impossibly large and perfectly shaped, defy conventional explanation. How could ancient civilizations, without the aid of modern cranes or machinery, have moved and stacked such massive blocks with such precision? And why, over the centuries, has the site withstood the ravages of time, earthquakes, and even war? Scholars agree that the Romans built on the site, expanding it into the grand temple complex that we see remnants of today. But the true origin of Baalbek may predate the Romans by thousands of years. Some believe the site was a sacred place long before Roman occupation, possibly even reaching back to the Phoenicians or earlier, as suggested by the massive foundation stones that form the base of the temple. Were these megaliths built by a lost civilization with knowledge that has since vanished? Or was Baalbek built by beings whose understanding of engineering, perhaps even beyond our own, shaped the site into something truly monumental? Theories abound. Some speculate that the massive stones were transported using methods unknown to us, such as sound vibrations or even alien technology. Others wonder if the site was a place of astronomical significance, with its massive scale aligning perfectly with celestial events or constellations. Could Baalbek have been a place of power, built to channel energy or connect the heavens and the earth in ways we are only beginning to understand? As the sun sets over the ruins of Baalbek, the great stones cast long shadows, silently watching over the land, their purpose and construction still shrouded in enigma. The question lingers in the air: what was Baalbek truly built for? And what forgotten knowledge might lie buried beneath its colossal stones, waiting for a future generation to unlock its secrets? After wandering the vast and lonely expanse of Easter Island, we now journey to the high altitudes of the Andes, where another enigma awaits: the ruins of Pumapunku. Located in the Bolivian highlands near the ancient city of Tiwanaku, this site is known for its giant stone blocks, each weighing several tons, carefully and precisely cut from a kind of red sandstone known as andesite. These blocks, some as large as 130 tons, seem almost impossibly intricate in their construction, displaying angles and shapes that modern engineers would still struggle to replicate today. Yet no one is entirely sure who built this place or how it was done. Pumapunku is part of the greater Tiwanaku complex, a site that dates back to at least 400 AD, and some theories suggest it was even older, perhaps even predating the flood that many ancient cultures describe. Here we find stones so finely cut that they fit together without the need for mortar. The precision is so sharp that even a knife blade cannot slip between them. The walls, foundations, and structures at Pumapunku are arranged in perfect geometric patterns, which raises an immediate question: how could ancient people with only rudimentary tools have achieved such sophistication? The engineering marvels here suggest something beyond ordinary craftsmanship. Some of the stones seem to be perfectly shaped, with holes and notches cut in places where no obvious practical use can be identified. What purpose could these strange features have served? Why, for example, are some of the blocks cut to such exacting angles, while others seem to defy any sense of utility? Some stones have precisely made circular holes, others with rectangular indentations. Could these be a part of a larger, more complex machine, or perhaps some kind of astronomical device used to chart the skies and celestial bodies in ways that we have yet to understand? The most perplexing aspect of Pumapunku is how these massive stones were transported. Many of them are so large that no known technology from the ancient world could have moved them with the tools available at the time. Local legends speak of the Viracocha, a divine being who supposedly descended from the heavens and helped the Tiwanaku people construct their city. Did the people of Pumapunku possess lost knowledge or techniques that allowed them to achieve feats impossible by today's standards? Or perhaps this knowledge came from an external source, an advanced civilization, or even visitors from another world? As fascinating as these questions are, they only deepen the mystery. Modern archaeology tends to lean toward the idea that Pumapunku was built by the Tiwanaku civilization using ancient, albeit now forgotten, methods. But even this theory doesn't entirely solve the puzzle. How could such a primitive society, at such a high altitude, craft stones with this level of precision without the advanced tools we have today? Despite extensive studies, the questions surrounding Pumapunku remain unanswered, leaving us to wonder, what secrets do these colossal stones hold? Could the answers be buried beneath the surface, hidden in the shadows of time? Or are they perhaps waiting to be rediscovered in the fragments of an ancient, long-forgotten civilization? Only time will tell.